What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys, and of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight on the Famliest of Fridays. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family, and hop in that Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
It's going to be a quickie. I should have said a Cowboys in 30 because it's, not much news in the Cowboys, but there is an important thing I want to discuss when it comes to this team, and it's pretty much our discussion tonight, the running back situation there. I want to know your thoughts on this as well. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure you not only hit the like and subscribe and all that good stuff, but also comment below on what you think about our running back room. We'll discuss it tonight. And maybe we can both learn something. Us on this side and you guys on that side. We'll see what happens. Guys, thank you for coming in here, hitting that like, sub it up. And, of course, hit that notification bell. But also, let's shout out the man who's been the takeover guy over here on My Cowboys Family. The last 3 weeks in a row on the Cash App and our sponsor of the week for 3 straight weeks. So you know who it is, baby. And you know why he's here. Snug X.
Ooh, thank you so much, Snug. I appreciate you, of course. Yes. And he's not the only one representing there, right? Jason Renfro bossing that stream around. He is fully powered up there.
Yeah, and he's also the 4-time gifting membership king right now on our channel. So much love to him. It's something that Skeptical Fan did for 3 months in a row. Now Jason has it for a full month, and he's trying to go for that 5 on it. Right now he's got a 1-point lead, 7-6 battle against Skeptical Fan, and also in third place with 1 point, NDN Boogie. So appreciate all the love this week. When it comes to this week, it's a takeover from Jason Renfro because he's got the, like you said, stream boss. He's got the gifting membership lead right now. He's also got the overall lead on the board, trying to take that sponsor of the week. But it is a close one, I will say that. And the leader currently right now, it was Jason Renfro. All right, I will say this. But last night we had an interesting little stream. Or not me, but it was on the Cowboys Mosh. We'll talk about Mosh and his jerseys in a minute. And we had some drops in there. I got to shout out some of those people right now to give those kind of, it was a little bit of a party stream, right? But I did say it was an account for this. And so let me give the shout outs to people like Jason Renfro, who was in the lead on the Cash App side. He dropped $1.88 and a $5 holler. Much love to Jason Renfro. He said, "Go Cowboys."
Ooh.
He did say that. And then we also had Mike Mosh, Cowboys Mosh, who dropped a $10 holler. Go Cowboys. Mary Alvarez also in the house. She dropped $15. So, 2 for 15. She said, "Fill them up. Go Cowboys." We know why, Mary. We know. And then the leader currently in the Cash App, the new name here, guys, has his own channel and the whole thing here. It's Johnny Yarborough. So much love to Johnny, who was also involved in the drinks and stuff, right? Which reminds me about tomorrow's stream. Stay tuned for that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Johnny Yarborough, he is currently the Cash App leader, believe it or not. So congrats to him. Much love to him. That'll be a first time for Johnny. We'll see what happens on those boards. But again, thank you guys for the love overnight, right? And for the stream last night as well. And, whatever drops tonight, we'll see what happens. I mean, we do have some membership people getting ready to load back in there. Because we got the super chats, of course. You guys know about that. You got the thanks button. You got the gifting memberships. We discussed that. And you also have just plain out, you want to jump in the membership guys, about to jump in there tonight. Jason, we're thinking, but I'm assuming they will be in there in this star level. Jason Renfro and Skeptical Fan. You got Mr. A. Lavelle in the silver level. The wife is in the navy blue crew. So is Gerald Swain. So thank you guys as well as, we'll shout you out tomorrow officially, I think, when it does cross over to the finish line. And we add it up on there. But right now the board is updated as can be, and appreciate everybody in the house. There's 4 other ways of dropping the love here, baby.
Of course, you have the Cash App, money sign, My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs, which lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
And of course, always give you guys the star level members shout out, but tonight's Fan Friday, so you get that silver level too. So, let's give I'm going to give the shout outs here, bring them up in a minute here. And again, everybody hit that like, sub it up, and hit that notification. But I think there's a lot of college football tonight. I know that there's not a lot of Cowboy news, so it's been a little bit lighter out there. Mm-hmm. But we'll fill you in for the next 30 minutes to 45 minutes on, our Dallas Cowboys. There are a couple of things that are important to note and important to discuss. So let me say, without further ado here, much love to Bobby Bottles, Marissa Sparkle. You got A. Lavelle. You got LC. You got Lincoln Kane as LC. You got Jason Renfro, of course, skeptical fan. Dwayne Broussard, the top dog. Andy Posh, Mary Alvarez, the OG, the Don, Ron the Don Smith. Appreciate all you guys in the membership. I'm saying you guys are all. That's the silver and the star level memberships. Those are those know over everything right now. So that's the Fan Friday shout outs, guys. Appreciate everybody here on all the levels of membership. Cannot do this without you all.
And as I do some shout outs here real quick, did want to take a second here. What's up, Skeptical Fan? Much love. I did not get it, at least on my side. So not sure. Just go ahead and maybe double check. He said that he had sent a drop of love, but I didn't physically see it go through on our side. And at least on the behind the scenes side, I didn't see anything there either. But just saying, just letting you know.
I'm trying to figure out which way is it. Cash
okay. You mean his membership? His membership.
Yeah. No, I'm saying we don't get notifications on that. Believe it or not, guys. So we
kind
of
got. If it went through on your side officially, then that means it went through on our side.
Yeah, that means I have to check it tomorrow. It's kind of a little delayed like that. But I did have you guys. I did factor it into totals because you guys are OGs. You know what I mean? So we're gonna. Some people that maybe joined in for a month, and we'll see if they stay in. But I still try to be fair and put everyone's name up there and keep it the way it is on a trust buddy system. You know what I mean? Family system here in MCF. Okay. So that's what I'm doing. I won't get the notification. Probably we don't get notification. We won't know until tomorrow. But of course, I know you guys are good and appreciate you guys. Jason Renfro, skeptical fan, and all the others. A. Lavelle, repping that membership. And there's a couple others coming down the line here in the next couple of days, so we'll keep up on that as well. Appreciate, again, everybody in all membership levels. There will be extra perks, not just the ones you see there. There will be extra emojis coming down here, anti-Giants emojis. Yeah, we're getting them prepped right now, and we'll get ready next week to really kick off the slew. I would say at least 2 or 3, maybe 4 more Giant disgraces coming down, so you guys can put out there when any Giants come in here, try to tarnish that star that we represent so well. So, any last people in the house, baby?
No, of course. Like we said, of course, skeptical fan always. Yeah. Staying skeptical, much love. Yeah, YouTube definitely gives everybody, I think, a bit of trust.
I wish their system was a little better, that's all.
So, SnugX, the sponsor of the week, your Cash App King, coming through. Hello and hi. Thank you for the love there,
He's
Snug.
Battling back up on that board. Much love to SnugX.
So, Rolando Rodriguez. Oh, damn. He said, what's up? Spectrum lost the ESPN channel. You got to pay $40 a month for it.
That's crazy. Someone told me that last night, and I said it's probably Spectrum as a joke. I guess I was right.
It's not ha ha ha. It's oh crap.
Well, I'm glad we don't have to worry about that.
So, and good to know. Yeah, thank goodness.
Yes, thank you for that insight.
So, let me keep rolling here. Retro Scotty in the house. What's up? Big Boss Man. Representing, of course, Thomas Garrett, the Superior. Garrett. Asmodeus in the house. Much love. Bruce got the toxic juice.
Toxic.
You already know. Let me see. Big Boss Man representing. Yes, it's the last weekend without Dallas Cowboy football. We love it. Not the no football part, but the fact that it's, we finally made it, right? So, Bruce got the toxic juice, of course. We got Daniel Berry Sports. Much love to you. Freedom First was actually first today.
Hey.
Good for you. So, Eric Wallace, Stephen White, much love to you both.
Hi.
But yeah, baby, I think that's everybody here. So
just letting you guys know, tonight, let me fix that. Tonight's going to be a quickie. It should be a quickie Cowboy chat tonight. But let's get to it, because we'll start NFL stuff. This is just general NFL news. A former Cowboy coach, but this was of course the OG in the sense of the New York Giants. We're going to be playing them in Bill Parcells when it comes to the 80s. We know he got them their first Super Bowls, but Bill Parcells, when he left the Giants, he lent $4 million to 20 different ex-New York Giant players that were in financial crisis. And again, so obviously he's out there helping his former players. Yeah. $4 million. That's, it's not chump change. And again, he was asked why he didn't do that, knowing that, why he would do that, knowing that he would not get that money back. And Parcells said, quote, "These guys have sacrificed so much for me with their bodies and their commitment." So he was very much, took care of his players even when the NFL looked the other way sometimes, right? So got to give props out to Bill Parcells there, former Giants coach, but also, of course, a former Dallas Cowboy coach. And also Mike Evans, Tampa Bay Buccaneer wide receiver, deadline has been set by him today. He announced that in a statement, his agent actually announced that he will cut off contract negotiations if both sides don't reach a deal by next Saturday, which is, of course, one day before Tampa Bay's kickoff game there. So, again, this...
So no pressure.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, but again, he has to, like, he wants to get a deal done, or else, you know, he's going to get no more, he's not going to talk contract negotiations anymore. He's going to play football. But again, he wants to make sure that he gets an extension, gets what he wants to get paid.
Yeah,
this
that's
is his way of kind of
obviously
announcing
the priority for him there.
Yeah, well, and again, year 10 for him could be his last as a Buccaneer. After this, he's a free agent, and he's just going to say, if you're not going to extend me, I'm going to just get out on the free agent market, and I'm done. So that way, or trade me, that kind of stuff. I mean, we'll see what happens. His agents have informed the organization that they will discontinue contract discussions as of September 9th, 2023. There you go. So anyways, he said, he kind of drew the line in the sand and said, this is it. So, and look, 9 days.
Kind of needed to be.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously for him, it feels like he should be maybe pushing for a better contract, but he is on the downside of his career. So it's one of those things.
It's I know, but it's kind of his last little huzzah, like you said. Like, it's his last chance to kind of try to get a contract like
might
this.
Might be a little too late.
Depending on, I mean,
it's kind of like Zach Martin.
I know, but there's never been a better time to try and kind of, capitalize on some of your historic play and stuff. Especially, I'm just saying, if you're like in the twilight of your career or whatever, like, this is your last hurrah.
Even with all
your
that,
last chance here.
Every single year he's played in the NFL, first 9 years, he's got 1,000 yards or more. So people can say he's not in the end of his career. We know 10 years, you got maybe another good 3-4 years left. So he's still got some years left. It's kind of a Zach Martin situation, I guess you can say, for him. So speaking of our Cowboys, we have 9 days, guys. Probably now officially, I guess, 8 days before our first game against the New York Giants Sunday Night Football next Sunday night. Just wanted to throw that in there just to keep we're in single digits, guys, before the Cowboys and Giants play our first game of the year. Football really begins on September 10th. And I'm ready to see our Cowboys kick some ass. We'll talk about the Giants in a lot more detail Sunday, maybe, Sunday until Monday. It's Monday stream for sure. It's back on the road to our, week 1 game. So I did want to bring up something here real quick about Jordan Lewis, which I found very interesting. And, I think what you had talked about it, baby, the other day. I think you had discussed it. And it was about Jordan Lewis.
Was it about Skeptical Fan?
Well, Skeptical Fan in the house here, gifting a membership to Eric Wallace.
Woo!
Much love.
Huge shout out. No. You need to put some respect on that name because Skeptical Fan just gifted 5.
What? I just showed only 1, baby.
No, just one notification went through, but 5.
Oh, shit.
Lucky people. Congrats to Eric Wallace, Justin Quarles, the Q Man, Baby Chaos. We have Kevin Richards, Presley Mitchell, all of you guys. Huge shout out to you. Thank you again, Skeptical Fan. Appreciate you so much.
Skeptical Fan, with that drop there, I got to do some mathematics here. But Skeptical Fan with, again, him, Jason Renfro, they got their star level memberships in there. Definitely moving up this week. He's still in second place on the overall board, but he is first place now on the gifting membership side of things. So the man is back. 3-month champion. Remember that. I mean, Jason Renfro got the 4 weeks on it. Trying to get that 5 right now. Skeptical Fan is leading that part of things. Much love to him once again. Remember, we just had that navy blue gifting. And by the way, Chris Plumage, he ended up going with that hat. I agree.
Yes.
That hat or that shirt again. If unless you were going to wear one of the shirts, of course.
Which I probably would.
Yeah, exactly. So it's so many great choices there, but he went with the hat, and I don't blame him. To me, it's like a one of a kind hat. I love it. So much love, Skeptical Fan, and congrats to Chris Plumage, the first winner, officially claiming a prize there of those 4. So appreciate Mr. Skeptical Fan for multiple reasons. 5 more just went down. So hit up the chat real quick as I update the board, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Yeah.
Let me see. Skeptical Fan, much love. Yes, Chris got in touch with us. His hat has already been mailed out, actually.
We got it out.
Including Burn Bars as
yes,
well.
Burns
so,
and,
Burn, Chris, if you guys are listening, you guys should hopefully have your packages a little after Labor Day. Just because Labor Day, obviously.
Yeah. Day of no deliveries. But congrats and thanks to Skeptical Fan for making that happen. You know what I mean? That's That's what it is about here in MCF, the family side.
Showing the love, sharing the love, and yes. I can't wait.
I can't wait to see the pictures or hear their thoughts on the fantastic Dallas Cowboy hat gifted by Skeptical Fan. Much love. Man, he gifted the memberships and then he gifted the gifts. It's fantastic, man. Much love to Skeptical Fan. First place currently, 11 gifted memberships. Jason Renfro has 7. Remember last month, and Indian Boogie also has 1. Last month, Jason won with 6 gifted memberships. So it's a battle this week as we're getting closer and closer to representation for week 1. That's whoever the winner is going to represent week 1 against the Giants. It's a big week. We'll call it that way. Mm-hmm. So again, much love. Thank you guys, and congrats to those 2 that got their 5 gifted memberships there from Skeptical Fan. Remind everybody, maybe if someone can type in their exclamation point gifts, you can see how to turn on your gifting option to receive gifts. If you can do that, you receive gifts. You then can receive one of these memberships. Navy Blue Crew. You want to use those emojis when any Giant fans come in, or Steeler fans or Houston Texan fans trickle in.
Yeah,
you can throw those down.
We're prepared.
Yeah, hell yeah. So enjoy, guys. Enjoy if you're in that membership. And again, thank you all for rocking in here. I see USMC in the house. A big fan of us here at My Cowboys Family. Appreciate you here stopping in and always saying, go Cowboys.
Always.
Now, baby, you had talked about, Jordan Lewis last week. We talked about him a lot this week because he obviously was taking up the pup list.
Basically, like as we kind of started hearing like more about what was happening there, we did get to find out a little bit more about what his offseason looked like. And again, like we obviously knew his injury was like really serious, really severe, whatever.
Yeah.
But obviously we didn't know the extent of how much Jordan Lewis himself was struggling with that. And again, like we kind of touched on how important the entire Dallas Cowboy team ended up being for that. Like when McCarthy said the other day that, they're big fans of Jordan Lewis, he's like one of their leaders and things like that. I think it's easy for most of us to dismiss that kind of comment as like a flippant thing or whatever.
He was kind of hanging on to the team, it felt like, but all this time he was a main guy.
Behind the scenes, like basically the entire team, kind of rallied and supported behind him. Like again, we knew specifically about the coaches,
right?
Like that we knew, and I can't remember who it was. I think it was McCarthy that touched on that specifically, or Jordan Lewis himself that talked about the fact that. There was a time where like he was like really struggling, and some of the coaches came by to the house and to his house to talk to him directly.
Yeah, and again, this might have been kind of mentioned or discussed already, but here's the thing: Jordan Lewis basically admitted and stated, and this is great because you got someone like Dak Prescott who is knee deep into the mental health side of things, and Jordan Lewis was struggling with mental health issues during this difficult injury rehab. When again, not texting anyone, didn't answer texts. They would have been messaging him on the team. So he was like very out of it, kind of stayed away from everyone. They were getting worried because he is a team leader. He's a guy that's been always into the team situation and vocal with the team. Gone, right? And they were getting nervous about his mental health situation. He was getting depressed, like you said. And the entire coaching staff, but also the Cowboys team, the players, all showed up at his house. That's how important Jordan Lewis is as a mentor, as a leader, as part of this team here on defense. Jordan Lewis going through a lot. The team really came through. I'm talking about the players and, of course, the coaches. So just wanted to revisit that for a quick second because I thought that was a kind of slipped through the cracks a little bit with his comments. I want to make sure we touch on that one more time. Great stuff there. And then, you got someone like Dak Prescott on your team who has dealt with these kind of mental health issues. You also got guys like Michael Gallup and others that know, they've gone through tough times as well while on the Cowboys. Jordan Lewis being part of that brotherhood. This is a really good, close team. They really, and I'm talking about offense and defense, they intermingle very well, and I love to see this. Even if it's in a difficult situation for Jordan Lewis, they got him through it. And now look at him. He's that 4th cornerback ready to just go in there and fill in whenever needed.
Exactly. So, and obviously you kind of touched on this. Like we said, we knew about the coaches. It makes sense that coaches are maybe going the extra mile for their players or things like that. But to hear that basically the entire team basically, like they don't have to do that. I've never heard of basically an entire team coming together. Like again, for like the Micah Parsons of the world, maybe sure, but for
for Jordan Lewis,
to be real,
right?
exactly for the Jordan Lewises of the world, that is very surprising. But it's surprising in a good way.
Yeah.
Like man, this team, top to bottom, from the number 1 guy to the 53rd guy, like this is a team.
Practice squad.
This is a team.
Yeah, it's that the closeness this team has. It's a true, especially at the core, they know each other. Yep. Offense, defense, they're connected.
Beautiful point there. He said, man, what a beautiful thing must be for all the Cowboys staff to show up at your crib where you lie down to reassure you the love they have for you. That's more than some family has shown me, right?
I'm telling you. I mean, that's the thing about this specific team that's been like this kind of building the last couple of years. And I hear you, man. You got family members that aren't as close as these players and coaches are to Jordan Lewis.
And that's the type of stuff that you just can't fake, right? Like there's been great teams all around, right? They put in the hard work, the dedication or whatever. You can't fake the funk, right? Like that type of genuine care, brotherhood that they have going on, it does feel special, and we're not weird or crazy for thinking that. Like these are the types of things that show us that we are actually seeing what we're seeing. So I love it. That's why you see the Cowboys are very, very pushed to. It was important for them to get Jordan Lewis on that field. Exactly. Yeah, and man, Seabass, you're like killing it here too, right? Like it wasn't for the camera, it wasn't for show, and you're right, it wasn't like a Micah Parsons type of player, type of guys that just by playing the way they do inspire everybody, right? Like Jordan Lewis inspired everyone due to his hard work, his dedication to the team, for being a real one, not necessarily for playing out there like Micah Parsons. So, hey, if he wants to show up like Micah Parsons, I don't think anyone's going to be mad either.
That's fine, too. Let him upgrade to that. But right now he's the fourth DB there. It will be utilized sometimes as a starter.
Here, the band of brothers coming together, we love to see it.
Yes. What's up, Stone Immaculate? Yes, let's get those Giants. Seabass, Kevin Billable. You guys are killing it. Appreciate everybody in the house here tonight with us on a quickie Cowboy chat. Drop your comments. Drop the love if you like. On this Fan Friday with us. Now, I do want to talk about some stuff that might be a little bit. This is maybe a little shocking to some people, and maybe we rethink things. I do want to bring that. And baby, you don't know what I'm bringing to the table here. Trey Lance, and this deal that we have for him. Of course, we gave up a fourth round pick to bring him in. So I just wanted to say to people, did we get duped? Well, I'll talk about that in a minute, but let's just look at the moves that we've made, right? Because we gave up a fourth round pick to the Niners for Trey Lance, a 2024 fourth round pick, and we gave up a 2024 fifth round pick to Kansas City for Eric Scott Jr. And we gave up a sixth round pick to the Houston Texans for Brandon Cooks. All right. So you guys feel me here right now? We got when you look at 2024, listen to this.
Okay.
We get a first round pick, we get a second round pick, we get a third round pick. Our fourth round pick went to the Niners for Trey Lance. Our fifth round pick next year went to the Chiefs for Eric Scott Jr. because we moved up in the sixth round to grab him. And then our sixth round pick is also gone to the Houston Texans for Brandon Cooks. Then we get a seventh rounder. And then we get one more seventh rounder, which we got from the Raiders in the Jonathan Hankins trade. We got that pick back. So
something else to consider is, of course, compensation picks.
Of course. I'm going to get there.
Even then, that still is only like...
Yeah, without the comp picks, though, right now, they're not there. We get a first round. So we get a day one pick, of course, first rounder. We get day two picks, of course, second round and a third rounder. And day three, we don't pick into the seventh round. We don't have a fourth, fifth, or sixth rounder. So we got some players. Now, Trey Lance, Brandon Cooks... How does that sound? I don't mind hearing those draft picks being used for Trey Lance and Brandon Cooks, but I got a little bit of an issue when you use it for Eric Scott Jr. I'm just being real. I don't know how these other picks are going to work out, but Eric Scott Jr. is definitely the biggest risk of those three. It hits differently when you say, I gave up a sixth for Brandon Cooks, or I gave up a fourth for Trey Lance.
One of these things is not like the other.
Exactly.
Right?
So no offense to Eric Scott Jr., but we give up a little too much for him to move up to get him. All right, so hey. It is what it is. Now, when you were saying, baby, compensatory picks. Very important. The Cowboys love to juggle these around. Here's the projection right now from over the cap. Right now they're projecting 3 comp picks coming to the Cowboys next year.
Okay, yeah, I know we had 2 for sure when we talked about it the other day.
Exactly. They're giving us a 5th right now. Things can change, guys, on snap count, on how much money they got, how many incentives they hit. But they give us a 5th round pick for... Can you believe Connor McGovern? gets a 5th-round comp pick at this moment.
I can believe it. I've been saying it before, guys. No one believes me.
The depth,
What's going on with O-lines around the NFL when guys like Connor Montgomery are out here giving us compensation picks?
A 5th-rounder. So that's pretty high because the highest you can get, I think, is a 3rd. That's like for a top-level talent.
Yeah, so it's okay. I'll just allow that to speak for itself.
But again, that's the money he's getting, right? So he's getting like $8 million a year to start in Buffalo. So that's the they get, So we get a 5th-round comp pick back from him. Where's Dalton Schultz and the Texans? Well, he's giving us a 6th-round pick back. That's it. Just a 6th-rounder for Dalton Schultz going to the Texans. And we're getting a 7th.
That to me is the one that's the most disappointing.
That is disappointing.
Hoping, and I think the Cowboys are kind of in their heads hoping for like a 4th to 5th round pick, considering where you were expecting Schultz to kind of.
It's disappointing to me. In a way, I don't know if Eastside's in the house.
Did we get like a 4th one for Jarwin?
I'm not sure.
Actually, no, Jarwin was an injury situation.
Yeah, no, that was different. Yeah, that was the whole thing. We caught him. But
wrong guy. But I know somewhat recently. Maybe not last year, but the year before, we did have somebody that did garner us a 4th-round compensation.
I mean, was it Gregory? No, that was this year. It was Gregory. Look,
not a big deal, but just saying the point is that it's not exactly easy to get like you said up to a 3rd-round comp pick is one thing, but like even a 4th-round compensation pick is pretty hard to just get like that. They're not just out there.
Yeah, look, I thought we get Dalton Schultz in the 5th-round comp pick. We get a 6th-round for him. We get Connor McGovern giving us a 5th. I would have thought he would give us a 6th. I'm just saying it flipped for me in my mind. So it don't matter really who gave it to us. We got a 5th and a 6th.
It kind of equals out in a way.
And then we get a 7th-round comp pick. Mm-hmm. That's really at the bottom. That's like Mr. Irrelevant basically. We're gonna get, but that is for Noah Brown. We get a 7th-round comp pick. So I guess the Texans. To me, the Texans overpaid for Noah Brown. You can say they overpaid for Dalton Schultz as well. But look, we have to wait and see how the season plays out. What their numbers look like. They have to have a good season. So we're kind of rooting for them to do good. If they do good, they get a lot of snap counts. The more snap counts, the higher these picks will get. The less snap counts, we drop off a pick or 2. We can move down. We can have 2 6th and no 7th. A lot of things can happen. So, right now we got to count on. Right now we count on at least a normal picks in the first day, 2 days. That 3rd day we got 2 picks and they're both in the 7th round. We might get another 7th rounder with Noah Brown. And we might get one in there in the 5th and 6th round. So again, right now we get if you look at the comp picks, we get no 4th, we get a 5th, we get a 6th, we get 3 7th rounders. So we're basically not really picking at all. That day is really looking ugly. And these are like comp picks, so they're at the end of the 5th round, at the end of the 6th round. Of course, we're going to have one at the end of the literal 7th round. So the last pick of the draft. We have to wait and see how the season, again, kind of takes place.
How everything kind of shakes out, but still.
Their numbers.
Outside of that, of course, something else that enters my mind when we're talking about this is just kind of looking towards the future. Again, if the Cowboys are planning on comp picks making up for some of those deficits or helping to supplement their draft in a lot of ways, this upcoming season makes things, I think, even trickier, considering that most of the people that might be able to give us something there, we're actually trying to keep them. Like we want to keep most of these guys. So I'm just saying that it's at a weird in-between spot because I have a feeling that the guys that we are going to be okay with moving on from are going to end up in a similar Dalton Schultz-esque type of situation. It's not that there's anything wrong with them, but we're not going to get, I think, the type of compensation picks that we might be looking to get with these guys.
I understand. I mean, I think that the point here is that we knew this. When you look at it, when you get a comp pick, you're not going to get the worth of the value of the player.
And stoned, nothing going on with waivers as far as we know right now, obviously.
Yeah, no new pickups, no new moves, nothing like that. But I do want to go back to one last thing about this trade. Then we got a little bit left on this Trey Lance thing and Dak Prescott, and then the finale, which is the running backs. I'll talk about that here. We're calling it a night here, guys, a little earlier than usual. But let me say it like this, guys. The Ravens and the Lions were 2 other teams that were named in this man's kind of trade situation, right? The Cowboys, of course, took over. We had the Ravens and the Lions involved in discussions, supposedly, for Trey Lance. And that's why I asked, did we get tricked? Let me explain.
Hoodwinked.
The Ravens GM today, Eric DeCosta, he implied that the 49ers openly shopped Trey Lance, quarterback Trey Lance. The Niners said, hey, we're shopping around, and they went to Baltimore and said, would you guys want to make a trade for him? They were turned down by the Ravens. instead of the Ravens being the ones that showed interest. Remember? So
yeah, so I was gonna say, yeah, like the word on the street was that the Ravens were the ones that hit up the 49ers, and that there were a few other teams, but that the Ravens were the ones that reached out to 49ers and said, hey, what you doing? What's Trey up to?
Remember, also the Lions GM, Brad Holmes, denied a report that they had interest in trading for Trey Lance. So it sounds like the Niners are saying to, again, there were definitely other teams that were interested, but
so
the Cowboys were the biggest interest.
To make it seem like, ooh, we have this hot commodity that everybody seems to want. They're calling us. They want it.
The Cowboys bit. Like the Cowboys bit.
I was just about to say, I'm like, sounds like Jerry got fooled by the old bait and switch. Oh, well, yeah.
His own game. People use the star.
Interested buyer for this.
Remember, every player out there, almost every player is connected to the Cowboys in some way. They fall into that. They love that because then it gets them out there more. It looks like it's a bidding war, and they might just be talking and say, "Hey, do you want to go to the Cowboys?" And Cowboys say no. Doesn't matter. They still in the headlines, and that helps the player.
That's how we call all.
Now we got that
news.
Done to us.
Yeah, that's how I call all NFL news Cowboy adjacent, because it might not relate to the Cowboys, but guess it's like 6 degrees of Dallas Cowboys, right? It always comes back to the Cowboys one way or the other. So yeah, but that's the thing that bothers me too, especially when you hear about some of the offers that other teams were throwing out there. Like, it started with 6th-round picks and went up to maybe a 5th-round pick. So for Jerry to come in there and basically shut down all the discussions with a 4th-round pick, it does feel like maybe he overpaid for it a little bit in that sense, but we can understand it in he was trying to shut down any possibility of discussions or trades or moves. But that discussion changes very quickly if those other teams weren't really actually interested, and if it was the other way around, and the 49ers were the ones pushing it.
Listen, here's what I'm trying to say. What the Niners were doing was this. They went to the Lions and said, you want them? They said no, and they cowboyed them into the mix. Same thing with the Ravens. Let's assume that's what they did. Good. All right, whatever. It's part of a negotiation. That shit happens all the time. The Cowboys do it. They do it. Here's the difference, though. I think you got to remember. Yes, they might have hoodwinked us on these two situations, but the Bills, like Skeptical Fan said in the chat, the Bills were interested in him. There were other teams that not these two teams, the Lions and the Ravens, that were interested in Trey Lance. So there were teams that were giving a 5th rounder and a 6th rounder or whatever it may be. What's up, Pepe? Again? Once again in the house.
Subbing it up.
Yes, part of the family here. Go Cowboys, Pepe. Much love. So yeah, the point I'm trying to say is there was other teams, at least one other team or 2 other teams that were at least giving up a 6th rounder or 5th rounder, and there was combinations based on that. And the Cowboys said, "Fuck all the negotiating. Here's a 4th rounder because we like them that much. We like them this much. We got them. We don't want to worry about the other teams. They were willing to. Cowboys were willing to give up the 4th. We don't have a 5th round next year.
The Cowboys did not want to. Like I said, the Cowboys did not even want to get to a situation where other teams were negotiating. The Cowboys just made an offer that was too good for the 49ers to say no to.
And the reason why this story kind of makes it look worse for the Joneses and get fooled is because the Niners were ready to cut this guy. They're ready to get whatever they could get from him. And it sounds like they were trying to fool the people that really try to do this deal. The 2 or 3 teams that are really involved in this, they try to fool them with using, like there was like 5 teams involved or 6 teams involved in this. So make it more, there's more suitors than there really was. But there still were suitors, is my point. And Jerry Jones was like, let's just get it done. The Cowboys loved him from college and all the rawness he brings to the table. Now you got Mike McCarthy. In a way, I think the Cowboys going to really hope McCarthy stays around to be able to develop someone like Trey Lance. So we'll see what happens. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But that only happens if McCarthy wins. And that means wins this year in 2023, baby.
By the way, I did want to take a second here since Frank Moyer is in the chat tonight.
Yeah,
Thank you, Frank. Yes.
Much love.
We did receive what you sent. We mentioned it yesterday, but I don't think you were here when we gave you the props and the love there. But thank you so much, Frank. Seriously, appreciate that. But a real quick side note, if you are one of those people who does like to occasionally send us things through the mail or things like that, there's a bit of a pause on that. I mentioned it the other day, but switching jobs, so that
different location for the mail now.
So that address is not going to be valid anymore. So please don't send anything there.
Yeah, we'll update you guys sooner than later. Trust us. So thank you guys though for doing all that.
Again, basically just reach out to us directly again. We'll hopefully have something ready to go after the next week or so.
Seabass now knows. He wasn't here. He knows now. So guys, I just want to finish this about this Trey Lance trade. And this did the Niners fool us? They fooled the 3 or 4 teams that were involved, but it's obvious that Will McClay, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, the Cowboy organization, they wanted Trey Lance. They liked him from the draft. They like him still. They think they could get something out of him. He's a first-round graded, second-round graded guy for the Cowboys. Getting him for a 4th rounder, it's worth it, even if you don't get any 4th rounders as of now for day 3 of next year's draft. So we'll see. We'll see what happens if this thing pans out or not. But here's the thing: you got to think about it like this, family. Mm-hmm. If next year the Cowboys are drafting, Boone Papoon, I don't know what his name is, from Kentucky, quarterback. That's that pick, that 4th round pick. The Cowboys had already posted that pick in their draft room right now. It's in there. It says quarterback. That's who they were going to take. So now if you get Trey Lance, 23 years old, I think I'm taking him over every quarterback in the draft in the 4th round. So think of it like that. When you say, no 4th round, no 4th. We got our 4th round pick. His name is Trey Lance.
I was going to say, yeah,
That's the way to look at it. That's the right way to look at it.
I was just about to say, I'm hard pressed, just off the top of my head, to think about basically the pros and the cons, right? Like, if you're telling me on one hand I can grab a 4th round, QB in the draft, or I can go with this guy that we have at least a better idea and understanding of what it is he has to offer. Like, even if we're hoping he can give us more than what he already has shown, it does feel like a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. You know what I mean? Like, the knowing of what you have in Trey Lance, I think is
better
worth
than a risk
it
of a
more
college guy
than taking the chance on a 4th round QB, just because, again, it's not like Dak Prescott are hiding on every roster out there, too. Like, I want people to be clear.
Yeah, it's not easy to get a quarterback. And look, the point is this: the Cowboys, like you said, baby, let's go off of that. Mm-hmm. The Cowboys know Trey Lance's weaknesses.
Yep.
Everybody does. And McCarthy probably knows better than some, and better than most, I'd say, in the NFL, of how to kind of tweak and improve his skill and play towards his skill set, improve the footwork, which McCarthy says is very important. The processing has to be improved upon as well. But that's something that we got 2 years to work on with Trey Lance. And we'll see where he's at then. Maybe you trade him. Who knows, right? We got to wait and see. I don't want to push any dumb narratives because people think it's, Dak's out of here. Not at all. He might get his contract tomorrow. You just never know. Dak might get his extension tomorrow, so get ready. But the point here is, guys, is Trey Lance, we know the negatives. He's got 2 years in the NFL. He's got 8 games under his belt. I mean, no rookie in college is going to have that coming into the NFL. 23 years old, Stone Immaculate sees it, said it as well in there in the chat. So I'm just saying, like, he meets exactly what the Cowboys want in a rookie quarterback. And they're getting a guy with 2 years of experience, ups and downs, but hardened him a little bit. And now he's going to get into a team where, again, great quarterback room. Cooper Rush is a veteran. Dak is a veteran. And, they're going to teach him well with McCarthy, the guru, right? The quarterback whisperer. I'm ready to see what they can get from him. And I think it's worth a 4th round pick for a quarterback named Trey Lance with the potentials he has, rather than a 4th round pick in 2024 for whoever, Joe Schmo from Idaho, who I don't know how good of a quarterback he's going to be in the NFL. It might take him 6 years to develop to Cooper Rush. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have time for that shit. Let's use it on Trey Lance at the higher upside if we can develop him, and he can develop right for it with us.
And I did see a quick question here. MCF, settle this for us at Seabass. I trust this familia more than those. But is Trey Lance threatening Dak's job?
No. And again, you can ask me this now. I say, no way, Jose. No way he's threatening. There's no chance of him threatening Dak's job at this point. The guy is way behind Dak Prescott. It's not even a contest right now. That's why I keep saying 2 years. And I'm not saying pushing yes or no. I'm saying if Mike McCarthy, Cowboy front office, they should know in a year, for sure in a year, but definitely in 2 years, if Trey Lance is worth keeping him for that 5th year. On 5th-year option to extending him. And, of course, by then we'll know what's going on with Dak. To me, here's what I'm thinking, guys. What I'm thinking, and I know the Dak haters are going to shit themselves, but I think the Cowboys will give Dak an extension, maybe in the season, maybe at the end of the season. But I think Dak
Steven made it pretty clear. One of the last comments he did make about Dak's contract, and it was after the Trey move, in case anybody, I'm just saying, I want to clarify, he basically straight up said it. He's like, yeah, this changes nothing. We're still fully planning on extending Dak. Like, we're like,
but he said that for like 3 years straight.
No, but he just said that this just adds depth at the QB room or whatever. Yeah. But, both Jerry and Steven seem to insinuate in varying degrees that this doesn't really change anything as far as Dak's contract extension, that basically this just gives them a little bit more peace of mind as they're working that out. Now, of course, we know because we've been with the Cowboys long enough, no, I don't think you can say that Trey is threatening Dak's job. But I also think that you can say that the Joneses are going to use everything that they can to make sure that the contracts end up favoring them. Now, I don't think Trey's that much of like a weapon or a piece or something, just a general move. It's just a little like general reminder, like, hey, Dak, you can't, like we can make moves behind the scenes. We can start getting ready.
Why
to move
not?
on from you.
I don't see I don't see it like that. I see it as like, no, I'm not arguing. I'm saying I see it more of like, hey, I know it could be threatening to get a first round, third overall pick, second round graded talent the Cowboys had on him. Of course, you're like, ooh, your blood's starting to get hot. Oh, what can we get from him, guys? This guy's not ready yet to take over any quarterback spot. It would be a horrible season if he takes over. So what I'm trying to say is Dak Prescott I believe he'll get like a 2 to 3 year, a 3-year extension or something in that range. It's going to be big money. It is, and that's the way life goes. But the thing I'm trying to say is Trey Lance can still get extended too, as the backup, being worked, as a future starter after Dak is done. After that, this will probably be Dak's last extension. So I think both guys, if they do well, will get extended. I think Trey Lance will have maybe, the advantage. Let's think about this, family. The advantage of signing Dak to an extension, let's say a 3-year extension.
Yeah.
So he's here now 5 more years. The advantage now is you can extend Trey Lance as a secure backup quarterback and don't pay him for the big money. Maybe there's options out of the contract for Dak towards. I don't know. I doubt that will happen. But I'm just trying to say, like, if the Cowboys do extend Dak Prescott, don't be surprised. Trey Lance is either extended or traded. If he's got shown something somewhere, he could be traded. Like we said, you get a second round pick for a quarterback that has a future now. That could be a game changer as well in a trade side of things.
I think I mean it more in the way that Drums and Cowboys is saying it here. Like, again, I don't think the Cowboys somehow think this is the way it's going to go, but you really can't tell me that they are, again, they don't even have to say it. It's kind of like just the implication.
Right.
You're right, because on paper, and even, like, for the most part, like, 95% of the reason we got Trey Lance, like you said, is not to replace Dak, is to add depth to the QB room. It's to do all those things that we've literally just spent the last however freaking long talking about. But there's that tiny, tiny little part that's definitely like, oh, yeah, this is good for our contract situation, good for our front office situation, just because the whole point is it can be both. The Joneses don't have to come out and say, hey, this is what Trey Lance is probably going to do for us in the future or whatever. The implication's already there. And like Drums and Cowboys said, that's what they thought about Brock Purdy. And if this kid really develops by next year, you can bet that they'll try to build around his low salary, which is, to me, the bigger part. The Cowboys have still some wiggle room there to end up with a QB situation that maybe is cheaper for them. And considering the fact that quarterbacks are the most expensive guy and the biggest hit, we're talking like 20% of your cap now, basically. Like,
yeah,
I'm not saying that Purdy is going to go in there. Purdy, my goodness.
Trey Lance.
Sorry, we were talking about Brock Purdy for a second there. But yeah, I'm not saying Lance is going to go in there and replace Dak. I'm just saying that I think the Cowboys are just trying to hedge their bets in as many directions while still keeping most of their eggs in the Dak Prescott basket. So,
I hear you. And I also hear Jason Renfro dropping the dollar holler.
Woo!
Screaming, "Go Cowboys." Much love to you, sir. Appreciate you. And baby, you are 100% right. I understand what you're saying. I do understand what the chat's saying about, the Dak situation, money-wise. Trey Lance have to show a lot of improvement, in my opinion, to be can even hold anything to Dak Prescott right now. And I think that is, if you want the best, I mean, listen, the only thing I can say is if the Cowboys don't give Dak an extension next offseason, I think then we can start talking, okay, this could be the switch going. They can still give Dak a contract at the end of his contract. They have like 3 weeks to do it. So they can still have literally 2 years to give Dak a contract or extension or not, but you're going down to the wire. It's gonna be contentious. It's gonna be an issue. So I think
I hope it doesn't get to that point. But Montana,
it feels like it will.
Interesting question. You said what college conferences are tied for the most starting quarterbacks in this new breed of NFL?
What conference?
Yeah, college conferences.
I don't know enough about college conferences to know that answer. What does he qualify as the new breed of quarterback?
So I'm guessing you're trying to imply that it's more of a Dak Prescott-esque type of QB.
I think he's talking more like a Lamar Jackson type of QB. You know, like mobile, can run, can, you know.
I mean, I will say that
guys like him, guys like
less about the running, but I will say that mobility
Josh
does
Allen,
seem to be a bigger
Daniel
priority
Jones.
With the newer batch of QBs. But that feels like just me just generalizing about some of the younger QBs that we currently have. Outside of that, I don't know. You gotta let us know there, Montana, right?
By the way, Jason Rebel still got 100 points on that stream box.
Yeah, and Jones the Cowboys also throwing out there, you know, Lance doesn't necessarily even have to be better than Dak. He just has to move the offense. He has to.
Good point. No, I agree.
Remember, here the real thing to me is the fact that we are, for the first time in basically the entire Cowboys history, we're a defensive team. Like, even back when we had good defenses.
The offense is not as important in the sense of you have to have the quality star players.
And that's not to say that we don't have some heavy hitters on offense. It's just that the way we're doing things, our defense is our bread, our butter, and the jam.
Before the season started, what did I say? One of the big changes this season is the fact that the team has a different identity, and that's defense first. Offense is not the number one thing anymore in this team. Anyway, it's defense first, offense second. And I hear what you're saying. You guys are making great points out. That's what we all learned together. So I can see the Cowboys, stupidly in my opinion, rolling the dice on Trey Lance after Dak's 2 years.
By the way, you called it there when it came to the whole mobility thing. Montana said it. Yep, Dak, Mahomes, a Josh Allen, a Purdy, this younger generation.
Yeah, mobile in the pocket and can get out there and hurt you on the ground.
So again, you know, that's another reason why I think the Cowboys really like Trey Lance. Like we said, a lot of his, not metrics, but a lot of the things that he does and he does well and he does almost instinctively, naturally, the things that come easily to him, they do fit our offensive scheme. And it makes sense.
I got to say this. I said this
even where he is now.
I said it the other night. I said that he actually, when you look at his ability to be mobile, his arm strength. I've talked about. I'm not going to repeat it all over again. But you look at these things that he is literally he's better than Dak Prescott right now in those things. I would say
it's crazy
on a lot of those things when you're talking about like the natural instincts of Trey Lance. But that's where it ends, because when it comes to processing zone defense, Trey Lance will go and throw a shitload of interceptions. You thought Dak was bad last year with these drop passes, and Trey Lance will get in the 20s possibly.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Mike McCarthy, who I personally do think is not going anywhere anytime soon, especially considering how much control the Joneses gave him. So how do you think the Joneses see it? If they know and feel that McCarthy's going to be here for a few years, long enough to help develop young QB like Trey Lance.
If we don't get into the conference championship, I think he's gone. You think he stays if we don't get to the conference championship? Mike McCarthy.
I think that there's got to be a little asterisk there.
All right.
Why did we not get there?
I always hear that, right? If he was doing a great job and something happened, the kicker shanked it, it's on Jerry Jones.
I was just about to say, like, there's a lot of reasons for it, but I will say that if our offense looks lackluster and we somehow are like one and done again in the playoffs, I think we can have that discussion.
Okay, all right.
I think
fair enough.
You know,
I think we're locking down Dan Quinn for like a good chunk of years, so he's staying with Micah, I think, as well.
And the only reason I say it too is just because, again, I do think the Cowboys have tendencies to maybe make some excuses, and I'll be the first to say, like, I don't know how much head coaches have to do with, like, hey, if a bunch of guys got hurt, unless your head coach is going to go out there and replace them, I don't know what they're supposed to do, which I think is some of the leeway that he had gotten in previous years because Dak was so banged up and hurt that one year. Like, you know what I mean? He got a mulligan that first year.
I know.
COVID, but even moving on forward from that, I think that there's one or two ways I could see McCarthy getting a mulligan this year too, as far as like the Cowboys excusing it or keeping him. You know what I mean? Like. The Cowboys don't do what they're supposed to do, and by all metrics, like, McCarthy would have been gone, but he still isn't because of XYZ things. So,
well, I think
you have pointed out, though, there's a few other factors that maybe could influence the Cowboys, but the way that things currently stand, if the Cowboys were forced to choose, like, between, let's say, McCarthy or Quinn, short of McCarthy completely shitting the bed, as an offensive coordinator, too. That's the other part of that.
Play caller.
I just don't see it happening. Quinn will end up going, and McCarthy ends up staying. That's my thoughts.
All right, that's a big one there. We'll have to wait and see. I think a lot's going to come this year. It's going to show us a lot. And that's the thing I'm trying to say. Going back to Trey Lance, that's the biggest issue I see with Trey Lance. It's not his play. It's not his development. You know what the biggest issue is? ability to play on the field, to see him play. How are we going to, again, and we don't want...
We're not really going to be able to test him unless the worst happens and Dak goes down and then we got to see.
And then we'll know. But I don't want him to know like that. I want to go with Dak because Dak's the better quarterback for sure, 1,000% right now. And probably when Trey Lance is ready to come up to be quarterback, Dak will still be better than him at that point. It's just how much better is the question. Is it worth the $55 million difference?
This is where, again, I don't want to give too much credit to the front office, but this is where it makes sense when it comes to our front office. It is a win-win scenario. Dak stays fully healthy the whole time and Trey Lance just collects dust there in the background. Cool. Because that's more or less what we want. That means our starting quarterback is out there.
It's going to cost $7 million, but we won't ever see him then.
If the worst happens and Dak goes down for 1, 2, 3, 4 games or whatever, then we are in an ideal position to start testing and flexing some of that depth and really see what we have in Trey Lance. And at least now we know. And remember, this is under Mike McCarthy, the same coach that the Cowboys are also expecting to keep developing Lance. That's why I said there's like layers to this, at least in my mind.
Yeah, you're making great points.
So
great point.
It is not a win because Dak went down, but the Cowboys are like hedging their bets.
Like here's a chance to see if we can go opposite of Dak.
In a different way
this chance
than, we got to put Cooper Rush in.
Exactly. Cooper Rush is like a dead end. It's over.
Exactly.
At least Trey Lance, they can still get a win, the front office.
So, and again,
that's what's crazy.
Short term, long term, it makes sense because, again, long term, we want Dak healthy, good to go. That just gives Trey Lance more time to keep developing in the background. And again, let's flip it the other way. Short and long term, if Trey Lance goes in now for a few games because Dak goes down or whatever and does the same thing that Cooper Rush did. I mean, I'm just saying, like, how motivating would it be to see Trey Lance go out there, be able to hold down the fort while Dak is out,
and that's
Dak comes back, everything keeps flowing, like, you know?
If that happens, skeptical fan.
Skeptical fan officially.
Oh, there he is.
Going
all right.
through.
Whoa. All right. I'm confused. So he did it. He had to go back in, I guess, right? No. Yeah, right? I think so, right? It's official now. I think he must have been out and jumped in.
He was in it as of like 30 seconds ago. He was still in it then.
I don't even know how that happened, but appreciate you,
welcome back to the Star membership, I guess.
Back to the Star. He's repping it for like over 2 years, so appreciate you, skeptical
Star,
fan.
By the way, of the memberships because he's like the membership gifting champion.
I think, the gifter. 3 full months, and he's trying to take over. He's in first place currently right now. So much love, skeptical fan. He's first place on the gifting. He's still. Because Jason's Star level also hit, I think. So they're neck and neck, but Jason's still got a little bit of a lead. I'm trying to get the numbers together here. I'm pretty sure Jason's got like a. Let me see here. I'm trying to put it together in my mind. He's still got a little bit of lead on him on the overall board, but skeptical is definitely behind him there, and he's first on the gifting board, as you can see. 11 gifted to Jason, 7 man.
And by the way, drop him if
safety
you got him,
in there
guys.
Somewhere for skeptical fan.
And take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And
drop them.
Us.
Yeah, drop them as in your emojis in there.
Yes, but follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. Hop in the Discord. Link is down below. And
I gotta take those Raider ones out of there. By the way, I still have them in there. We beat them. I guess
it was the one preseason game we won. We're allowed to hype it up a little bit, right? Dak Prescott deserves that. Star.
His play calling was great in that game. You know, I love to see that. I don't think Trey Lance going to play good in the play calling. Is another point. It means he's going to see the field completely different. Dak Prescott is just elite compared to Trey Lance as of right now. In 2 years, if Dak is very good and Trey Lance is very good also, then we can start to discuss the change there. But right now, ain't no comparison, in my humble opinion, between both guys as of now. Although, like I said, the Trey Lance things that he does great, better than Dak Prescott. He has better arm strength. He goes down the field aggressively. He's more mobile and he's better, comfortable in the pocket, mobility wise, than Dak Prescott. But Dak, like I said, sees the field better. Yeah, believe it or not, he does see the field better, makes the reads better, and he reads zone and man coverage. That's one thing you got to remember, guys. The key point about Trey Lance in college is that he went up against mainly man-to-man coverage situations. When he sees zone, he gets confused. So this is where McCarthy, working on the footwork, working on that side of his game, maybe in 2 years, he's ready to take over an NFL team, whether on the Cowboys or a team we trade him to.
And hey, this is where...
Just throwing it out there,
even
right?
outside of McCarthy, this is where Dak Prescott really comes in. Jerry Jones is the one that, also brought up this point. One of the reasons they were motivated to go after Trey Lance the way that they were now was actively trying to get a young QB in the room while Dak was still here. Not because they're trying to replace Dak or whatever.
Right.
Like, they want their depth to learn from Dak because Dak knows what the fuck he's doing.
The leader, he's the best guy there. And by the way, Will Greer, I keep saying it was like a 5th or 6th round. He was actually a 3rd round pick.
Oh, shit. Okay, good
But
to know.
Trey Lance is a high 2nd for the Cowboys in their mind.
Jesse Boucher. Hopefully I said that right. Thank you for summing it up.
Must be Micah Parsons' nickname there, Bobby Boucher. Yeah, the water boy. Much love once again, guys. Again, we cannot do this without your love and support, and we appreciate everybody in the house hitting that like, subbing up, notification bell so you know we're going live and posting videos and a lot more. You know, we try to do the MCF experience thing here, guys.
Yeah, I also agree with everyone saying that Dak is like just entering his prime. I do feel like for quarterbacks, this is the peak of their career, right? Late 20s, early 30s. You have enough experience. Like, you're not just a green guy out there on the field. You're still physically, usually, healthy enough
at your peak,
to be able to keep up with you can keep up with the rest. You're good to go. We have enough experience under your belt to actually be able to put a lot of your skills to use, and your body can still physically keep up. And of course, to me, when it comes to the QB stuff, I mean, even Romo, was at his best right when we last saw him, which is of course the most painful part, because think about it, 2014 was I'm just saying, that year sticks out in my mind because Romo had even said it before. He's like, everything was flowing so well for me that year. I didn't have to think about things anymore. It was just automatic. And then he got freaking hurt.
Hey, listen, he was hurt. He was hurt. I know. Unfortunately, he was hurt. He was hurt his whole career. Even when he started seeing things clearer. But yeah, after he saw it for a couple of years, it was like the back of his hand. Remember, he said something like it was like a switch was flipped. He went after his 7th or 8th year, a flip switch. Guess what? Dak Prescott might be at that flipping.
Dak's at that same point.
Yeah, that switch flipping stage. I'll discuss this in a minute and more. But again, Trey Lance. I wanted to finish on about Trey Lance. I have Dak next. But something said this. This is what the GM from the Ravens, Eric DeCosta, said about the trade request from the Niners, saying, "Hey, you want Trey Lance?" And they said no. So what Eric DeCosta said, quote, "If somebody calls you and asks you if you're interested in a player and you say no, does that mean you're interested in that player?"
No.
That's what he was asking, and that's the question. He was asked about reports that said the Ravens had interest in trading for Trey Lance prior to the Cowboys outbidding for them, and his answer was kind of revealing. He said, quote, "I would say that's just bad reporting." End quote. So basically, like the Lions denied that, said we never were interested in Trey Lance.
That's like someone asking you out on a date, you saying no, and them turning around saying,
I went on a date. Yeah.
We dated. When? How?
Exactly.
How?
So you guys
understand?
Jason
Renfro with that $2 holler. I appreciate you so much, love.
Another 2 for you. A J. Lou
Super
style.
Lemon, go Cowboys.
I love those super stickers.
I know, those little stickers are so cute.
Much love, Jason. Appreciate you. And always, Navy Blue Silver Star, that's 6 and beyond. Never forget. Go Cowboys. You know it. So, again, that's the Trey Lance part of things. Let's get to Dak Prescott. Because, we are already talking about Dak Prescott. And is he reaching his peak right now? Is he around his, ceiling? I still think he has a little room to grow, and I think Mike McCarthy is going to help him there. And I also think when you look at, since the COVID year of 2020, you look at, this is PFF now reporting this, the most 400-yard passing games. And we know that COVID year he had unfortunately broken ankle, but he had some unbelievable numbers for 5 games. The most 400-yard passing games, Patrick Mahomes in the last 3 years has 6 400 or more passing yards. Dak and Joe Burrow have 5. Just saying. Pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like Dak, if you wonder if Dak can throw for the yards when needed, the answer is hell yes. He had it for 3 out of 5 games that year? He had over 400 yards. I know. Listen, we had a broken situation all over that team, but Dak had to lead us back. He got us back in games because he was hitting the passes, hitting the players down the field. So, just looking at Dak Prescott, can he put it? I always say this about Dak Prescott. That man, at least once every 4 games, you put the game on his shoulders, he will win the game for you. But if you got to put the goddamn game on his shoulders every single week, he's not that kind of. He ain't Aaron Rodgers. He ain't Tom Brady. He ain't Patrick Mahomes. He's Dak Prescott, and he's right underneath those guys. And I believe you can give him the bulk of the responsibility, maybe 4, 5, 6 times at most a season, and he will get you those wins. You start going 7, 8, he might get you wins. It'll be a little uglier. You go to 9, you try to get 9, 10, 11 games on his shoulders. Now we're talking about it's going to be an issue. And most quarterbacks couldn't even go that long in carrying a team. So to me, Dak can get us to 400 yards. 2-3 times a year if needed. Mahomes did it twice a year on average right now, and since 2020. Dak did it, one game less in those same time frames. So the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL in 2022, when it comes to passing success rate, so they somehow, it's not just throwing the ball and getting a completion. It's throwing the ball, getting a completion, and making sure they got the yardage that you needed to either on first down, second down, or third down.
It's great if you got a completion, but if you got no forward progress or you gained 1 yard,
it's not a success.
That's not successful. Right. I think isn't a successful play at least 3 yards, right?
It depends on the play. On first down, if it's 3 yards or more, it's a successful play. But if you throw the ball on first down and get 2 yards, that's a failure play. Okay. So even at 2nd and 8, it's not what you need to be. You need to be at second. You need to be at 2nd and 7 or 2nd and 6 for it to be a successful play.
Okay. So I just want to make sure we're all on the same page as far as what is actually a successful.
It also, again, for those that love to say dink and Dak, right? Dink and dunk Dak. It's exactly the opposite. If you dink and dunk, you're not going to usually not have a successful. If it's 3rd and 13 and you dunk it down for a 5-yard gain, you got 5-6 yards, but you're 8 yards short of the first down, so it's not a successful play. And so Dak Prescott is on this list. The top 5 quarterbacks last year: Patrick Mahomes, number 1, 54.6%; Jimmy Garoppolo, 53.1%; Josh Allen, 52.2%, and right behind him, Dak Prescott, 51.7%. Jared Goff was 5th on this list, leading the Lions, 50.3%. So when you look at this list, Dak is over half of his passes, with these other 4 guys, they are very successful. Over 50% of successful passes they thrown last year. That means there was an attacking play down the field, or the receiver got loose and was able to get the yardage needed. But when you look at this, right, look at last year's. Listen to these numbers. When you look at the turnovers, okay, they had successful play, but how many turnovers have they had? And Dak has had his share, right? Listen to those same 5 guys for a quick minute here. When it comes to the best of these, I guess you could say the best of these guys, who do you think is the best between Mahomes, Garoppolo, Allen, Dak, and Goff when it comes to fumbles or interceptions?
Is this I feel like it's a trick question for some reason.
It is, because it's Jared Goff, and you would never guess that. He had 7 interceptions.
You're right. I'm like, am I hearing that right?
Goff has 7 interceptions last year and 7 fumbles. So that's 14 total negative plays, right?
Okay.
But he was the best out of the group. 14 only. Next on the list, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes had 12 interceptions last year.
Okay.
And had 5 fumbles. All right? So you're looking at, Jared Goff with 14 total negative plays. Mahomes with 17 total negative plays. Next on this list, Dak Prescott. 15 interceptions, only 4 fumbles, 19 total bad plays. Dak can handle the ball better than guys like Jimmy Garoppolo, who had 20 turnovers, and Josh Allen, who had 14 interceptions and 13 fumbles. He may run more, but it's not helping your team if you run a lot and you fumble.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say, I feel like Josh Allen does a lot of the same things that Dak does, occasionally a little more successfully, I'll admit, but not necessarily all the time. And he does not get even a quarter of the same hate and bullshit that Dak gets.
I agree.
Which is just crazy.
So, Josh Allen's a 0.5% more successful in his throws than Dak. But Dak, does not, he protects the ball so much better. So much, even with the bad season, so much better than Josh Allen.
Think of the situation with Stephon Diggs that's kind of happening over there. Imagine if CeeDee Lamb turned around and said, I don't want to be here anymore right now. Bye. What? Anyway, and I know there's obviously more to it than that or something, but that to me, when we heard that from a few weeks ago, that apparently Stephon Diggs not so happy over there in big old Buffalo.
Yeah.
That surprised me, just because, again,
these things are constantly going on behind the scenes.
As a receiver, you'd imagine you would be pretty freaking happy.
I agree.
With Josh Allen and being on that offense.
Listen, all we know is this when it comes to Dak Prescott is this guy can get you down the field. We talk about the 400-yard passes, only tied with Burrow behind Mahomes by 1. When it comes to being able to put up the 400-yard games, it's not easy. Not anyone can do that. And so he's on there. He's a top 5 quarterback in successful passes last year, as we know, had a lot of interceptions. And when you look at the interceptions and the fumbles combined with these same quarterbacks, Dak's 3rd best out of this group, 4th best in success rate to me. People are just hating on Dak a little extra, whether it's the media or our own fan base. Because I think it's 27 years of just depression from not winning a Super Bowl. I don't know what it is. It's all falling on Dak for some reason. But listen, Dak is here to stay. is my fucking point. We talked about Trey Lance for a reason. Build it up, build it up, build it up. And now the reality. Dak Prescott's our quarterback. He's one of the best in the league. When I say the best, I say there's 10 best in the league, right? Out of 32, Dak's one of those 10. We'll leave it there, in my opinion. And if he's not to you guys, he might be 12th, 11th, 13th maybe at the worst. But there's no way he's in the middle of the pack at 16 or 17. There's no way in hell. Then you're not watching the same games we're watching. Anyways, on that note, any quick comments on this situation with Dak as we get to the last topic here on My Cowboys Family?
So, let me see here. Stone Immaculate who said Dak is our QB. Dak top 10, no doubt.
Yeah. Oh, Madman says he's top 20. There you go. We disagree.
So, by the way, JG Melo, thank you for the love from Maryland. Appreciate that. Of course, everyone here. Appreciate you all chilling, hanging with us. Again, we can't do what we do without everybody here hitting like, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, following, all that good stuff, dropping the love, sharing the love, sharing the channel, all that. You guys know what to do. So let me see. Madman said a QB stats mean nothing if he can't lead his team down the field in the playoffs versus a great defense.
I mean, it's not just the quarterback doing that, though. Remember that, guys. To me, why will the quarterback now be able to, it's not just carrying the team, but now take over a game plan that's doesn't suit his skill set.
That's why I went back to the whole points about McCarthy. Like, there are, I think, a few scenarios where this team could do not great, and McCarthy kind of still gets a pass just because, again, I'm just saying, because the whole point is that there's more than just one singular factor, right? If the play calling is, of course, the biggest factor, if Dak Prescott was somehow the biggest factor, maybe you could say that, but he is not. He was not.
And I think, here's what I was trying to say, is that I think that when you look at like Dak Prescott, and let's say you want Dak Prescott. Listen, here's the thing. Let's say Dak Prescott has to go down the field for the game winner against the Niners. But you get some shitty play calling from Kellen Moore. Like, we seen this happen last year. Not just the last play when Zeke is the center and the dumbass fucking play. My point is, we've seen Kellen Moore not be good at devising game plans against good defenses. What would Dak Prescott, all of a sudden, you have like 18 games, 19 games played, and then in that 19th game or whatever, 20th game against the Niners, now Dak has to figure it all out himself after the whole season getting this put into his head about the style of Kellen Moore and the game plan and whatever. So to me, that's the difference now. I think Mike McCarthy is going to give Dak the right game plan that fits his skill set the best. And if he doesn't, I think we'll be able to see that. And if Dak is moving down the field, makes dumb decisions, throws some bad passes, then we can say that's on Dak. If Dak is stuck not being able to throw the ball to anybody and there's nobody open and it's a continuous thing.
Fan said if Dak can't beat the 49ers, look for his replacement.
You mean this year?
Yeah.
In the playoffs, I'm assuming, right? I'm assuming the playoffs. Look, but it's not Dak Prescott skeptical. It's not Dak Prescott Cowboys. It's Dak on the offense. It's the defense got to come through as well. The receivers got to do their thing. The coaches have to do their thing. So if Dak throws a bad interception, it's on Dak. If he makes bad decisions, that's on Dak Prescott. Then I agree. If not, you can't put it on Dak. Dak wasn't able to beat the Niners when, let's say, Trayvon Diggs drops a pick to win the game.
Football is one of the few circumstances where the shit rolls uphill, not down, because, dude, it could be the scrubbiest scrub on your team messing up, and somehow it's still Dak's fault.
Yeah, that's the issue I have.
But guess what's funny? For better or for worse, that's the reality in this league. So I'm not saying I personally agree with it. I'm just saying that I agree with the general point of if Dak can't get it done for whatever the reason, I can see the Cowboys deciding to move in a different direction.
It won't be able to be done until after next season. So we got 2 years of Dak. People think that we can trade him. We can't.
No, but they're going to start,
of course,
percolating behind the scenes.
Right.
They're doing their thing.
But and here's my issue: when you have Dak Prescott, who if he is not to blame, here's the thing: if the shittiest player on our team drops the pass to win the game, and Dak gets blamed for it, that's idiotic from a true analytic perspective, a non-biased perspective. But what I'm trying to say is that would be the excuse that Jerry Jones would use to say we're not signing him. And to me, that would be, again, blaming the wrong worst on the team. It's not the Dak Cowboys. It's the Dallas Cowboys, and that's why I believe it's a team thing, right? This is the most
definitely with
time you
you
needed.
as far as, like, again, my personal thoughts and opinions. I agree 100 million, 10%.
I know. Listen,
but
I know.
As far as what I see possible for the Cowboys, because I've always said those are two different things. What the Cowboys are actually, possibly willing to do, and what I think and hope they would do, two separate things. I think the possibility is there for the Cowboys to be open to moving on from Dak if things don't go the way they want this year.
I mean, I obviously, baby, I 1,000% agree with you. I'm just trying to say that the probability of that happening is only happens if he's injured, in my opinion, or he just is that horrible quarterback. Somehow we didn't see him being horrible for 8 years. Now all of a sudden he's going to be horrible. So to me,
I don't think it's about horrible. I just think it's about the Cowboys, again, being in a situation where they can start that transition process in a different way than we have in the years past. Again, remember, a transition from Romo to Dak was,
it was forced.
Romo went down, here's Dak.
Well,
I think they're just trying to avoid a situation like that if they're seeing the writing on the wall as far as them, again, wanting to move on from Dak. But that's the catch, though. The Joneses will find the excuse. Here's the thing. They will find the excuse to blame Dak if they want to move from him. You understand what I'm trying to say? It doesn't matter if it's true or not. But they will be blamed. Dak will be blamed whether by the Joneses in some way, in the media, whatever way it needs to be, by the Dak haters. So basically,
even if it's incorrect.
Yeah. So basically, if the Joneses really want him out,
they'll get him out.
Actually being good or bad is irrelevant. They'll find a way to blame him anyway.
It's a way to say, they're not going to say Dak could have thrown the ball better when the guy drops the pass in his hands. They're going to say, a different direction with the team, that kind of mindset where, it's just saying, giving you the hints that, okay, it was still Dak's fault somehow. They're not going to say it, but they're going to imply it. And that's, listen, what I'm trying to say is this. If Trey Lance can do it, if Dak can't do it, if we see that, I am all in on making whatever moves needed. We got to keep Dak for 2 more years. So all Dak haters can just forget about the trade, right? Nothing's going to happen. He gets to choose if he wants to be traded or not, and he won't want to do that. That would show, like, he's kind of lost something in a way,
Dak's
right?
trying to be a Cowboy for life.
And or at least show that with, playing to the end of his contract. So the Cowboys have no chance of doing anything there. Mm-hmm. So in the end, what people don't get, I think people don't get, is that Dak Prescott has been through some real shitty offensive coordinators, like the Garrett mindset, the Linehan coaching, the Kellen Moore coaching. I'm just trying to say, people, guys, that this is the first time he's actually got a coach that's actually understands the quarterback position in a way that Kellen Moore never did, and also understands how to develop quarterbacks that we've never had on this ability, other than with Will fucking Greer, who's again third round or really truly worse type of backup quarterback. While Trey Lance much higher level. Plus, we're getting the most out of Dak from Mike McCarthy. I just think this is again, we'll see about the play calling. That's going to be the difference. If play calling matches Dak's skill set, it's going to be fantastic. If it doesn't, if it does match and Dak throws some bad passes, then it's on Dak. Mm-hmm. If he makes some bad, then it's on Dak. If he tries to do too much, like McCarthy said, don't do too much. Try to do what's given to you. If he tries to take, that's on Dak. But I believe Dak is the guy, as we always say, he listens to the coaches. He's a big time yes sir kind of coach guy. If he's getting taught this way by the right skill set system for him, it's hard for us to
see him just all of a sudden somehow deciding to stop listening now.
Yeah, or now all of a sudden he plays bad to a coach who's trying to devise a scheme that's going to help him. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So that's where Dak would be at fault if he fucks it up.
Himself called and ran
exactly,
and successfully led our backups to a little preseason win.
Yeah, I mean, that's not something you can just do every day.
Dak is pretty confident with this scheme. So it just honestly, all signs point to Dak obviously doing better, not worse.
If I had to bet, Dak's going to have, I don't know care about the stats. He's going to have a better season of wins, and the offense is going to look better. Not just because of Dak, because of the scheme. I believe that's the way we're going with this. Mike McCarthy, 3 years, got to observe it without actually doing anything. We're not allowed to do anything about it. Calvin Richard in the house.
Woo.
Dropping that 5 on it.
Asking the question that we've been asking since about March, maybe April at the latest after a draft, right? With a $5 holler. Thank you, Calvin Richard. He said, I still wonder what we're going to do when Tyron Smith goes down. We're going to cry.
Well, we've discussed this in a couple of different ways, of course.
We're going to drink, and then we're going to cry.
Definitely it's going to hurt. I'm not going to lie, but any starter going down is going to hurt. We just don't have that.
On one hand,
that depth.
The good thing is that we've already kind of seen some of it in action. We know what's going to happen if/when Tyron goes down. We just start the O-line shuffle. Tyler Smith moves over to that left tackle. We kind of, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Of course, we're all sitting there wondering the same thing. Who the hell is still going to fill either the left tackle or the left guard spot, respectively, depending on who does what kind of shuffling there on the O-line? Because last time I checked, our offensive line depth looked like a college practice squad.
Well, let me
practice JV
look.
Squad.
And here's the thing: we got to remember when it comes to the depth on the O line, the starters top 10 O line. Without the starters, with one guy down, listen, we saw you made yourself the comment with our entire offensive line. This entire preseason and training camp has been backups mostly, and preseason all of it, but training camp some of it has been some starters, a lot of backups playing starting roles against our starting defense. What I'm trying to say is this: they're staying. It's T.J. Bass, Awesome Richards, who's the other guys? Chuma Adoga, Let's Go Ball, all these guys, Farniak, a bunch of guys that aren't on the team anymore. You know what I'm saying? Hoffman. These guys are, or practice squad guys, these guys were playing together. They were playing with 0 starters, in preseason games. When you get an Awesome Richards, who I think might be the guy they put in there at left tackle, Chuma Edoga, the only veteran backup we have in there. He was injured, but the Cowboys like what he can do. He was going against Micah and getting killed, but that's Micah. Tyron Smith is getting killed against Micah. So my point is that they like Chuma Edoga as another option at the left tackle or left guard spot. But I'm just saying, these are 2 guys there. You got left guard, you got T.J. Bass at left or right guard if anything happens to Zach Martin. You got, Let's Go, who is on the short-term IR. So this is the Cowboy depth. It's scary. Don't get me wrong. But I think we can get through with the 4 starters and 1 backup.
I agree.
You know what I mean? That's what
Pollard
I'm
is starting week 1, by the way, Chris.
Yeah. Pollard, well, again, it hasn't been announced yet. We are assuming that he's going to start. We're assuming Terrence Steele is going to start. We're going to know this a little more detail this upcoming week. We'll get the for sure news like Monday or Tuesday. We'll know. Pollard, Terrence Steele, those guys, I'm assuming they're going to start. That's the assumption.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I would go with that.
Jason, we didn't miss it. We literally just shouted out Calvin's.
Yeah, we got Calvin. We got you, Calvin. We got him on the board too. Jason at 95 points. I didn't shout that out. That part I didn't shout out.
So with that said, baby, let me hand it over to you.
Yeah,
because,
the finale here.
Yes.
We got the finale. And yeah, I'm glad we call it a Cowboy Quickie. I'm glad we got a lot of people in the house hitting the like, subbing it up. Appreciate the love from many from last night, overnight, the memberships, and of course tonight, Calvin Richard and Skeptical Fan and Jason Renfro, the 3 people that dropped the love from above during this stream here. Now the finale, and this is kind of the main topic, but I guess it's going to probably be quicker than I didn't think Trey Lance and Dak would take so much, but that was, I guess, more of the prime discussion. But let's finish it up with the running backs. This is my own observation, my own thought process that came to me today, and I said, I wonder how this is going to play out. Our starter, week 1, expected to be, and he's going to be our starter the whole year. Hopefully, no injuries, knock on wood. Tony Pollard's coming back with that broken fibula. He's our number 1. He's going to, how many snaps do you think he's going to play percentage-wise? I'm thinking, 80% of the snaps, probably? 75 to 80% of the snaps?
75 to 80, with
Sounds
give
right.
or take a little bit, depending on the matchup.
But in that range. The backup to Tony Pollard. If Tony Pollard goes down and needs a spell for his style of running, it's going to be Rico Dowdle, number 23. He's the backup. I wouldn't even call him like he's going to be. If Tony Pollard plays the entire game healthy, you might see Rico Dowdle 2 plays. I don't know, 3 plays at most to give Pollard a spell when his turn is up. Outside of that, I don't see that. Now, who's our other running backs, baby? You remember? We got another couple of guys here. We thought we were going to go with 3. We know little man Deuce Vaughn in the house. Deuce. Again, Deuce Vaughn to me is not going to be able to take over Tony Pollard as a number 1 guy, but he's a guy that can play
he's
third down or specialty plays, red zone plays, that kind of stuff. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was just about to say, I'm like, Deuce Vaughn does something similar to Pollard, right? In the sense that he's very shifty, he's very fast, right? But he obviously
does it better in some ways,
exactly,
right?
Say, he does it in a very different way, though, because again, the one thing that always got to me is that Pollard and Zeke were basically the same size and only like 5 pound difference between them. They were obviously physically built, I think, a little differently, so it looked different to us. That's why we always think Zeke looked like so much bigger than him, but it's just crazy to think of someone Zeke's size being that quick and fast. But again, obviously, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Well, it
Deuce
used to
Vaughn
be.
is, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Deuce Vaughn,
Zeke,
I'm talking about
Zeke,
Pollard.
Zeke used to be, but yes, Pollard, yes. I get you saying, no, Pollard being...
better still fucking
Yeah,
be.
Pollard
But yeah,
definitely
Deuce Vaughn,
is.
that's what I'm saying. Deuce Vaughn gives you that same kind of speed and shiftiness that Pollard kind of brought
Yeah.
to our run game, but he's not bringing necessarily the same type of power that Pollard and even Dowdle
Right, yeah.
are bringing,
Correct.
right? Although
Yeah.
Dowdle's obviously even much
So-
more of a power guy than Pollard is. In a
Well,
lot of ways.
I would say Pollard and him. I mean, Pollard was number one broken tackle guy for like 2 out of the last 4 years. So
Well, let me say that
he's
because
power
Dowdle
too.
just does because Dowdle doesn't have that same type of shiftiness. I
Yeah.
feel like he has to literally fight a
But
little harder.
he's also a little smaller. So
is,
than
he
Pollard.
is.
So look, the point is they're two good complementary backs. I mean, this is kind of like your Pollard Zeke last year. You got your Pollard and your Tony and your Dowdle. You know what I'm saying? So your Rico
Pollards and
Dowdle.
your Dowdles.
Yeah. So that's your two guys you got as your 1-2 kind of like combo backs that do the similar role. But to me, Deuce Vaughn
representation there.
Deuce Vaughn is a third down back. To me, he's a guy you could bring in on certain drives if you have certain things in mind. If you're going to go passing a lot,
You're still short one guy though.
if you're passing a lot, you want to make sure you get the ball in his hands. You don't want him blocking. You want him on the outlet. So there's a lot of things you can do with Deuce. But yes, you talked about power. And even though Deuce has power in his own way, don't get him wrong either. But I mean, he's hard to tackle and all that stuff. But with Pollard, who has power, Rico Dowdle has that explosion, and then you have the guy who's just the all-around fullback guy here, Hunter Lipke, number 40 now, not 43. He's number 40. Hey, check out
Fullback supremacy.
Check out what I did for the thumbnail, by the way. You see how he's up number 40? That's called. I took Tony Pollard's 20-0 there and put it over on on Tyler Lipke's 43 at that picture. So you see, MCF's always thinking about accuracy here. My Cowboys family. Anyways, so Tyler Lipke, what does he do? I mean, he's your guy that he can run short yardage. He's a pass protecting, probably the best pass protecting guy we have on the team to help our offensive line when it comes to, and of course, help give Dak more time. He's the best of the group right here. We also have a guy that can catch the ball. We saw him catch the touchdown, made the great catch, and agile enough to get in the end zone in that Juszczyk kind of role, Kyle Juszczyk mindset, where he's not as big as Juszczyk, but he's a versatile fullback that can catch, run, block, play multiple positions. The Cowboys love his versatility. And that's why now I'm going to bring up my thought. After looking at this running back room, guys, seriously, I think this is underrated. I think these running backs right now are being underrated by us, by the league. I like this. You can say that we don't have the depth in some ways. When I look at, I know we got 4 guys, but I'm looking at the depth. Which are the guys that can carry that 75% of the ball there? And that's Tony Pollard and maybe Rico Dowdle. He's got the best chance to do that. And there's no way Lipke or Deuce Vaughn are going to be able to take over 75% of the snaps.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's my issue with the depth. Outside of that, Rico is our depth. He takes over for and you know what happens if Tony Pollard goes down? Rico plays not the 75 or 80% of the snaps. He plays 60% of the snaps. Mm-hmm. And then, Deuce, instead of playing 10% of the snaps, he's going to play 20% of the snaps. And Lipke, instead of playing 7% of the snaps, he'll play 15% of the snaps.
Yeah, so
they'll make it up.
Basically, instead of one guy carrying way more, everybody picks up a little bit of the load.
It'll still be Rico Dowdle's, running back load.
No one's denying he's like the main guy.
Yeah, but the other guys will have a bigger role now, have to expand. And that's the way the Cowboys are going to roll if something happens to Pollard. In my opinion, outside of an injury, guys, we have a fantastic, and let me reiterate this, because it's underreported and it's being undervalued right now. The Cowboys have revamped the running back room outside of Tony Pollard, as far as giving their role changes. Remember, last year was Malik Davis as kind of the backup to Pollard and Zeke, and you had Zeke, of course, in the mix as the starter initially, the first time on the field. No other running backs on the team in the sense of the 53. So you see the Cowboys never really had a running back room like this at any time recent. And again, I want to make sure we say this, that the Cowboys, in my opinion, have upgraded the room in the sense of more versatility. And I'm looking at guys like Deuce Vaughn and looking at guys like Hunter Lipke. Hunter Lipke and Deuce Vaughn, this is the versatility that's changing in the room. We don't have these kind of guys necessarily. I guess you could say Zeke a little bit in Lipke, but you got Deuce Vaughn. We didn't have a Deuce Vaughn at all. At all for us. I don't know how long it's been. A Darren Sproles type of guy. So my point is we've never had a more versatile, explosive. I just thought about explosive. And you could say Rico Dowdle is very explosive as well as Tony Pollard, not just Deuce Vaughn here. And guess what else this running back room does well? Guess what else, baby? This is what Mike McCarthy was wanting to do. Remember I told you about the preseason games, that first down? What do we do on first down a lot of the times? We passed the ball instead of running the ball. It was a 3-yard gain, a 4-yard gain on a pass. But you know what? This running back room is also going to be a heavy part of the passing game. The passing game, that's why, Ronald Hess has now become a member here of My Cowboys Family. I'm sorry?
Roland Hess.
I'm sorry, I said Roland.
Congrats to you.
Much love, Roland, and appreciate you because big thanks to Mr. Jason Renfro doing it once again. Much love.
Props to you, Jason, again. Appreciate you. Much love, which, by the way, the stream boss is at 95 points there.
Still 95.
That stream boss is
Jason
the man
Renfro.
Who just gifted the membership there, Jason Renfro. Huge shout out to him.
Yeah.
Of course, I think he's leading things.
No, he was leading it.
Okay.
No, he gets another one. No, listen, you forget. It was a 5-dropper right there by Mr. Skeptical Fan.
Right.
So Skeptical's winning right now. He went for 2. He got a field goal, then he went a touchdown, 2-point conversion. He's at 11 points right now on the gifting membership list there. And Jason Renfro, he said, I'm going for 2. He got a touchdown. Went for 2. He's got 8. Indian Boogie got the 1920s, safety or whatever you want to call it there. Extra. I think that point, actually there was a point that you can get in the old days. But appreciate you guys. Skeptical Fan still in first place with 11 gifted memberships. Jason Renfro with 8. Indian Boogie with 1. We'll see if he goes 5 on it for Jason Renfro, or does Skeptical Fan take back over the crown. We'll see. Thank you guys once again, and Jason, much love. He's repping the whole board still. First place overall, 95 points in the Stream Boss. Cash App, actually he fell off there. A little behind on the Cash App to Mr. Johnny Yarborough. Congrats to him. He's currently in the lead on the Cash App side. Anyways, just finishing up about and I want to know what your thoughts are. I want to know what the chat's thoughts are when it comes to these running backs, because the passing game portion of this, baby, is not being talked about enough. Think about it. Tony Pollard used to be a receiver in Memphis.
Yep.
Like, he running back and receiver. Rico Dowdle, we know he can catch the ball. I mean, one of his big plays was also out of the backfield catching the ball. Deuce, obviously, can catch the ball. I mean, he won't be able to pass block, but he'll be the guy that, when the blitz comes, he's going to go out and the Cowboys will dump it down to him. And then Hunter Lipke, who, again, a fullback that can catch the ball, that means you're part of the passing game. All 4 guys are heavily involved in the passing game. If it's a first down run, they'll run. If it's a first down pass, they'll catch the ball out of the backfield and get the easy 3-4 yards.
We basically set it up so that we can have a running back out there first, second, third down, almost any formation, almost any whatever.
That's the key.
And we can make it make sense, even on like a 3rd and long. Like, I'm not saying that's going to be necessarily the best formation to go out there with. I'm just saying that you can, and it is not just possible, but viable. Right? You're not just... Very
much so. There's so much versatility. That's the thing that Cowboys like to do. Mike McCarthy loves to have this, like different guys that can go in there and just pick it up and go and pick it up the same way, even if you're smaller or shorter, or bigger, or faster or stronger. But you can still do your role, know the plays, and do well in that. Much love, by the way.
Woo, Jason Renfro.
To the man with the takeover plan. Jason Renfro, still the overall leader right there with that sticker saying, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Much love, Jason Renfro. Appreciate that. And he's got 100 points back up there, fully loaded on the Stream Boss. The only thing he's behind is the Cash App side. I think he's down 3 on it. I think 4. I think he's down 4 right now in the Cash App side of things.
So, and Rolando Rodriguez, again, I don't know about right now in this moment, but you're, not to be that person, you're definitely wrong, just because when Zeke and Pollard were both here, I'm pretty sure Zeke at that point was like 220, or maybe Pollard was 220, Zeke was 225. They were within 5 pounds of each other. There was
fluctuations, but they
deeply remember that. Yeah. So obviously each guy, maybe they ate a Big Mac or something, or whatever. But they were within 5 pounds of each other. And they're both.
It might have gotten 7 here and there. My point is that they were very close to the same weight, and aren't they the same height? I think
they're both 6 feet tall.
Okay, 6 feet. Okay.
So 6 or 6'1". Actually, no. I think they're both 6 feet tall.
And they're both about 5 to 7 pound difference in weight. I'm just saying, the point is Tony Pollard is much more elusive than we think. And again, one of the best guys in the league. But he was number 1 in the league. I think 2 or 3 out of the 4 years he's been in the league as the best, after contact runner. After contact, but anyway, he would get the extra yards. He was like 5 yards after contact guy. Number 1 in the NFL. I think 2 or 3 years in his 4 years in the NFL. So check on that, by the way. So again, I want to know what you all think.
So again, maybe the first year we got Pollard, but again, guys, I I'm not just saying this to bullshit or whatever. I don't know what Zeke's doing now. I don't know what he was doing, whatever. I checked it real quick. It says Zeke's 225. And it says that Pollard's 215. So even just right now, supposedly...
With fat Zeke. Yeah, I got you.
No, I'm just trying to say, like, Zeke was never 235 with us. I can say that right now.
No way.
No fucking way.
Listen, Zeke, I think that more realistic number for the difference in weight is about 10 pounds.
Yeah.
I think that 10 pounds is about right. That's what I don't remember being 5. That sounded too close. But 10 pounds, to me, sounded like...
The reason I specifically remember that is because at the time, I'm like, it's got to be bullshit. And this was when... Zeke and Pollard were still doing Zeke and Pollard things
I remember
together.
They were at a Dallas Maverick game, and I think some reporter said, 220 and 225. But I think they might have been just saying it off their ass. They're not saying it like by the actual weights.
Damn, Zeke's 300 pounds now? I know, that's a joke, right?
That's Leary.
I'll say he's...
Do you really believe that? I hope not.
I was just about to say, I'm like, he's 300 pounds. He's playing on the
O-line. Baby,
that's
called Joe. What's his name? What's our center? Joe Leary? Not Joe Leary. What's his name? No, our center from a couple of years ago came out with number 21. What's his name? Joe Looney.
Looney?
Joe
51?
Baby. He came out to practice with number 21 fucking around.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
So that's when he was 300 pounds. Jesus Christ. It was a joke. I was making a joke that the 300 pounds, the only 300 pound Zeke we had was Joe Looney that one day. Anyways, back on who cares about Zeke? Who cares? We got Tony Pollard, who right now is better than Zeke because the Joneses ran Zeke into the ground. It's not on Zeke on that one. But Pollard's our number one. Rico's our backup to him. And our third down specialist is Deuce Vaughn. And our pass protector, short yardage guy, versatile fullback is number 43. He could also be a fullback for any of these 3 running backs in the game. He could play fullback. And he's a good blocker at fullback or a good blocker in pass protection. So I'm very happy with this group. We don't have, listen, no offense to Zeke, but now he would anchor the team in a negative way. He's basically Tyler Lipke.
Are you saying he'd weigh us down?
Exactly. Tyler Lipke, you understand, is going to try. I'm not saying he's Zeke because he's not. And I'm definitely not saying in the short yardage, but as far as pass protection, that's where he's comparable, and again, Zeke is still better, but where he's going to help us the most, I think, is not short yardage. It's not even catching the ball. To me, it's going to be in pass protection. And yeah, he's going to be shown in there as a fullback as well, which is something that Zeke did only a couple times last year for Pollard. So I think that Lipke will do more of that for the Cowboys. We'll have to have Connor McGovern as our fucking fullback now. We'll have Tyler Lipke as our fullback. And I'm telling you, I know you guys don't realize this. I've seen Mike McCarthy's offenses with the Packers. He will use Tyler Lipke more than you think. He's going to use him as a fullback.
I mean,
and that fullback's going to get like 10 plays in a game.
It makes sense.
Not carries, but snaps.
It makes sense considering how we literally chose Lipke over other guys on this team. So I can't imagine us keeping him on the 53 without some kind of a plan or something already in mind. You know what I mean? Just because otherwise, it doesn't really make sense to make that much of an effort to keep someone like Lipke on your 53 when you had guys like, let's say, Isaiah Land or other guys that maybe could have made the 53 or that.
And we probably still would have gotten back, Hunter Lipke.
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to say. That if they valued Lipke enough to say we can't risk letting you go. It's similar to when we saw Deuce Vaughn not play that last preseason game. They don't have to say he's going to be on the 53. Just their actions already let you know how important they see Vaughn.
And that's my point about a guy like Hunter Lipke. He will be used as old school fullback. Now, again, you remember Darren Moose Johnston, Daryl Johnson. Mm-hmm. He was the guy that was, Aikman was under center. We're going a lot of under center guys. There's no more shotgun shit. If shotgun, you're not going to use a fullback. A lot more under center. Now you can have 2 running backs or just have 1 tailback, 1 halfback. But you can have a fullback there and if you see a fullback and Tony Pollard in the backfield, or let's say you see Deuce Vaughn and Tyler Lipke. I'm just saying, Hunter Lipke, if you see these guys in the backfield and you have Schoonmaker and Ferguson and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, and you have 1 receiver, okay, CeeDee Lamb, whoever, you're thinking what the Cowboys are going to do is run the ball. But you can throw to Pollard, you can throw to Deuce, if whoever the running back is. You can throw to the fullback, which is Hunter Lipke.
You can throw out there, can still catch.
You can throw to the receiver, whoever that is. You can throw to both tight ends. You can run or pass, and that's what Mike McCarthy wants to do, and that's why you saw a lot of under center, because that's what we want. You want to use a lot of the tight ends and fullbacks mixed into the offense, and make him, make a guy who can catch and block. So you can't tell what we're going to do on offense. That's the key here when you're seeing us understand. We got to throw the ball. We're down by 10. You're not going to see that play. But when we're in a game, we're going to get the flow of the game. That's what you're going to see throughout the game. We're on top. We're winning. We're close. It's going to be still that way. We're going to be using fullback, tight ends, and blocking tight ends. But then sometimes, you're going to be able to use them for blocking and catching both guys. You pass the ball. Tony Pollard goes out. Even under center, Dak goes back to pass. Who's helping in the pass block? It's Hunter Lipke. You understand? It all works out. I kind of see what McCarthy's going to do. If the players work this, we should do very well on offense. Defense, we got it locked down, guys. We're already like top 3, eyes closed. If the defense does what I think we can do, we stop that run, it's done. We're number 1. Stop the run, we're number 1 on defense. And I think that on offense, we just got to be good enough. And we're going to be much better than good enough if what I see happening by McCarthy comes to fruition. I'm excited about the running back room a lot more than I thought when I first saw it. Even before the cutdowns, with all the options, I was like, is it the real deal? I think we're in a better shape now. I see McCarthy's playing. And let me not forget one other guy, a 5th guy. We could have 5 running backs in week 3. Ronald Jones. I think that the Hunter Lipke is going to be that they're going to be watching him to see if he can do the Ronald Jones stuff that maybe they think Ronald Jones can do coming back. So it's not over yet. We'll see what happens, but I do like the layout of this team, and I love the running back room, possibly 5. Ronald Jones, I think he's going to be cut, honestly. Because, again, like you said, we're not going to give up. We could have had Ronald Jones in there instead of Hunter Lipke. We would have kept Lamb. That would have been the right. Keep Isaiah Land, and we're good. Because we got Ronald Jones on the way back. I think Lipke is the one that pushes Ronald Jones off in 2 weeks, after 2 weeks of the season. So, he's, of course, gone for the suspension, for the PEDs, for 2 games. So, what do you all think? I guess you gave your 2 cents in the running back room, but what does everybody else in the chat think? Because, again, I was kind of thinking about this today. I'm like, it's not much news today, but I've been thinking about this for about 12 hours. I got to talk with the family about this.
Jason Renfro said, run the big I formation now with the fullback in there.
Exactly. You can run the I. You can run, the wishbone. You can run whatever the hell you want now. And, again, no shotguns anymore. I was getting tired of the shotguns every play. I don't mind the shotgun. I love the shotgun. But when you come doing it every single play, it takes fullbacks out of the game. Now you got a way to use that run game a little better under center, and you can still just as easily. I've been saying this for years. Play action, pass. I'm good with that on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down if you want.
Yep. So, Trapping After Dark said, I'd trade Pollard for Jonathan Taylor in a heartbeat.
Boom. I guess you can say that, and maybe you can, but then you got to pay him like $17 million or something like this. I'm sticking with Pollard for this year. And running backs are not going to be, as you can see, we got 4 of them here. We don't have to necessarily break the bank for a running back. Even Pollard was expensive,
Yeah, hold on there. Rodriguez said, MCF, you remember when they tried running Pollard 3 times in the one, they couldn't score, and we ran Zeke and scored?
Of course. What I think we're going to do is when you got goal line, you might see a Pollard run. You might see him bringing, Hunter Lipke in there.
Drums and Cowboys said, we just have too many weapons on offense. With McCarthy calling the game plan, we're going to have a great year.
And that's the thing. I agree. A lot of weapons, and it's good enough to be able to rotate them in without giving up the play. Like we did with Turpin last year. Once every 3 games, you see him getting rolled in the game. I wonder what we're going to do. I wonder who's getting the ball, right? Thank you, Kellen Moore. I think McCarthy's trying to get these guys in a rotation, so it's not a gimmicky kind of player anymore. Deuce Vaughn's going to have 10 snaps. He might touch the ball 2 or 3 times, but he's going to get 10 snaps.
See, Richard Scotty said, Ronald Jones seems like a waste of a roster spot.
It's not a roster spot. He's an exemption spot, brother. So, again, Retro, we're good. We're keeping him right now. I don't know, the Cowboys, if there's an injury, if there's a running back that gets injured, you move him right into the roster on week 3. That's the earliest he's allowed to come back.
And, hey, Montana 808 said, it's guys in next year's draft that's much better than Pollard all around. Great.
Exactly.
Awesome. You know what that means for the Cowboys?
I'm down with that. Yeah, we're going to draft one.
We can replace Pollard.
Yes. For cheap.
Now we have look, we keep all the rest of our pieces because they don't necessarily have to go anywhere. We replace Pollard with someone younger, cheaper, maybe obviously a bit of growing pains, but overall when it comes to the running back situation, it still feels like, this is the better way of doing it as far as Cowboys, finding an affordable guy that can give you something similar.
There's options here. You can also pick up a free agent on the cheaper side of things. If you just need a guy to kind of fit into this, you see these 4 guys, you can fit the guy. If Pollard's gone, no problem. He's not coming back next year. That's fine. We'll draft the guy in the draft. Like Montana just said, there's guys in there. Perfect. That's perfect timing. You can't ask for it better. Pollard for 1 year, healthy, full blast, and then we can get a guy like him next year.
You know what's funny? I actually lean a lot more towards Montana's mindset in the sense that if the Cowboys have the choice between drafting a Pollard replacement or picking up a free agent type of Pollard replacement, they're going to draft them just because.
Agreed. I agree. No, I was just giving another option.
No, I'm not, like I said, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying, like you said, Cowboys have options there, but I think if they had the choice to choose, oh yeah, they're drafting one. Even if it means spending like a second or third round pick on a running back. I agree. The value they're going to get for that specifically is actually worth it in that case. It brings me one last thing I just forgot to mention. In what you're saying actually is exactly what I want to talk about. It's the analytics team we brought in. Park, Malapali, they are both, especially Malapali from the Ravens, she was very much about, I was wrong about the running backs. There's ways of utilizing these guys in the football game that actually heightens their need and their importance. So a revitalized run game.
And baby, what are we looking at right now?
A revitalized run game.
That's what I'm saying. These analytics people came in and they said, you could bring in a Deuce and we could make him a third down guy. You could bring in a Lipkin, you can bring him a pass blocker. This is what your back room
should look like in 2023 if you're trying to
stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly. And like you guys said, get the most out of your running backs. If you're looking at your running back only for running or only for blocking, you are doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, so
it seems like, again, the trends moving forward when it comes to running backs, like we've said, Tony Pollard-esque guys, someone who can not just run, guys who can catch the ball. It seems like speed is also a little bit more important than maybe power, in the sense that we're starting to see the trend overall towards we want faster, harder to catch guys. Again, I personally think, I really like the kind of fullback renaissance we're seeing, because we're not the only team that brought back the fullback. So I think that as we see offensive lines look a little less lackluster, and as like you said, we try to find more ways of evolving running backs into what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Into the passing game.
I'm just saying, a guy who can run the ball, but is also maybe a superb blocker. I'm just trying to say
higher love for that player, maybe drafting or paying.
Exactly. So just to keep in mind and consider, the types of guys that we might see getting some of that running back love, and as we keep seeing things adapt. It's kind of how we're seeing tight ends as well. Their positions adapting in a slightly different way. Right?
I was going to say the adaptation of the running back spot might be more of an offensive line helper. Now that increases the importance of running back. You see what I'm saying?
So,
you need the shiftier guys that can get out and more speed in the passing game, like we're doing. That's what I think. I think we got Lipke to help with the blocking, the short yardage, and also receiving. So we can still use him, but he's the least. He's the most versatile, but he's the least specialist.
Yeah.
He's like the all around kind of guy, but he's there for a grunt job. You got Deuce Vaughn for the ball in the hands, getting out there in the passes. You got Pollard. Can mix it up, so can Dottle. And next year we start new with another guy.
I'm so excited for week 1. Just because, again,
how are we going to use them?
That's my point. Once we get our first real freaking glimpse of our Dallas Cowboys in the field, all the pieces are going to start coming together, and guys, it's all going to hopefully make sense.
That's the biggest part. In the end, you and I, the chat, everybody in the chat can say whatever our opinions are. Like you said, we got to wait to see it. And the key here is Tony Pollard can do it, but can Rico do it? Can Deuce do it? Can Hunter Lipke do it? Can all 4 of these guys do it? I know Pollard can. He's proven it.
Find out.
We have
on an episode. That's Cowboys Dragon Ball Z.
That's part of the issue though here is because we don't know. We know what we can do if they produce the way we expect them to, but if they don't, then we could have a real bad running back room. I do believe though, with the way the Cowboys plan on using these guys, we're set good for this year, not for the future, but for this year, and then. When Pollard goes, we bring in a stud running back, like Montana said. We bring him in here, second rounder or something like this, a third rounder. We bring him in, and he leads this crew. Same crew, just new head. And the Cowboys, I would not listen. Don't fall in love with any new stud running back we get. 4 years, maybe 5. I doubt 5. And after that, you get another running back in the draft, another stud running back. That's going to be the scheme and the system of the NFL teams for now. Until the full evolution or kind of morphing of that running back position comes to fruition, maybe by 2030, who knows? And then we see the kind of new running backs people are looking for, and then running back position is heightened once again, of heightened importance once again. We'll see. But until then, the Cowboys are not going to pay no $15, $17 million for running back, probably ever again, until it becomes part of the theme again in the NFL. Until then, it'll be called drafting a stud running back once every 4 years in the second or third round. That's what I believe will happen. But, hey, maybe I'm wrong. We all can be wrong. We all learn together.
I guess we'll find out.
Great discussion, though, I hope. And I just wanted to, bring up to mind that, this running back room is young. It might be some questions, but you know what? I see the versatility in it, and I see what kind of McCarthy's going to do with it. So I like it going forward, and I'm excited.
You know what else I see?
I see the end of the stream here, baby.
I see everybody hitting like, subscribe, hitting that notification bell, following us anywhere, everywhere at MyCowboysFamily, hopping in that Discord.
And I also forgot to mention Jason Renfro dropping that 5 on it.
Woo.
In the Cash App. A huge Go Cowboys. Much love to Jason Renfro. I didn't forget you, bro. I caught you here at the end. Much love to Jason Renfro dropping that $5 holler in the Cash App. And with that, baby, guess what? Jason Renfro is now in first place on that. He just jumped Johnny Yarborough.
Ooh.
So Jason Renfro in first place officially on all the boards except the gifting membership. The only thing that he had from last week. So interesting little flip there. Jason's got, the Cash App lead. He's got 100 points fully loaded on the Stream Boss. And he's got the overall lead on this week, trying to take that sponsor of the week. But right now, of course, we know SnugX. And baby, you know why SnugX is here. Much love to SnugX, our Cash App king for 3 straight weeks. Will he hold it down? I don't know. He's got that hanging in the balance right now with Jason Renfro. And also the sponsor of the week is hanging in the balance from Jason Renfro. They're causing everything to come to a crashing halt. We'll see what happens. But again, when it comes to the gifting memberships, Jason Renfro, 4 straight weeks, trying to go for 5. Right now, down. What are you down now? 11-8, I think. He's down 11-8 in like the third quarter of the game right now. We're almost to the weekend. Oh, I guess we are at the weekend. But we're gonna, Sunday we'll see who the champion is. He's down 3. The Skeptical Fan is trying to reclaim his 3-month reign on the gifting membership side of things. So that's our little, thank you guys for this side of things. I also want to shout out those that dropped the love from above tonight. Skeptical Fan gifting 5 memberships. Jason Renfro gifting 5 memberships. I'm gifting one membership, but also dropping Cash Apps last night. Thank you, brother. We got Calvin Richards also dropping the 5 on it. Again, from last night, Mosh, Jason Renfro, Mary Alvarez, Johnny Yarborough. Those in the membership side of things. Jason Renfro, Skeptical Fan, A. Lavelle, the wife here at MCF, and Gerald Swaim. Appreciate everybody, part of the family in the memberships. Navy Blue Silver Star over everything on our channel. Thank you all, and I hope you guys post your comments down below about what you think about this running back room. I feel good about it. Let's see him produce now in the field, right? So,
agreed.
There you go. I'll open it up for you, baby. And
let me do the final shout-outs here of the night. Cassie Stewart, take it easy. Chalk to Montana 808. Good luck with your game tomorrow.
Yes.
Way to go, coach. Drums and Cowboys, much love. He said, with the receivers we have, expect a good running game. Stop thinking old offense. We got to think West Coast.
Exactly. Thank you. Quick passes. Those are running plays on first down.
Retro Scotty, have a great night as well. Madman, much love. Cactus G, in the place to be. 808 Cowboy Bird Killer, have a great night as well. Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett, said, stop the run. I think we're Vegas bound.
Yep.
That's why I said,
stop the run. We're number 1.
Change our mindset.
Yes.
This is a defensive team.
Yes, agree.
Defensive team.
Yes, and on top, we are a team here as well. My Cowboys family, husband and wife style, and you guys part of the family. Thank you for rocking it on a fan.
I didn't know you. You just showed up
one day.
What
are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
On a Fan Friday here with the family, guys. Thank you. Again, we did the shout-outs.
Let me see. Hold on. I just want to make sure. I don't think I missed anybody. Drums and Cowboys. Of course, Jason Renfro. Roland Hess. Of course, Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical.
Jason Renfro said, watch the fourth quarter comeback like the 90s Cowboys. He said he's coming for that gifted membership to make it a 4. That's why you
want to make sure to come by tomorrow, guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, baby.
Very
Let them
likely
know.
To be a one-time viewing only.
It is going to be. It is. Listen, last night I got a little practice, and you guys almost knocked. Listen, I had like, what, 4 shots and a beer, and I was fucked up a little bit. I'll be ready for a bigger load tomorrow, I think.
That's what she said.
Whoa. We'll be ready tomorrow. But get ready for the one-time viewing. We're going to have a little music party. Guys, this is the last time. The last time we can party with you guys, and probably until maybe
the next time we party, it's a Super Bowl party.
Well, the next time we party,
it's a Super Bowl party.
That's that's the goal. But the next time we may party would be, let's say, example, bye week. Maybe that week, and we might be able to. I know that's the special birthday weekend.
Thank you.
But I'm just trying to say, like a weekend where we have it open, and the game's on a Thursday, or the game's on a Monday or something like that. You might get a weekend party stream, but for the most part, guys, it's football now. It's serious time. The regular season is right around the corner. So this is our last chance. Take a load off, talk about our season, and listen to some music. have some drinks, catch us live, because you won't see us after the stream ends. It'll be deleted. Gone forever. So it's a one-time viewing only stream tomorrow night right here on My Cowboys Family. Join us. And also, baby, we forgot to do this earlier in the stream. Star level members, we shouted them out.
Yeah.
We did not shout out what's coming on Sunday.
Why do we do what we do? Do you know why?
I do, but I want you to tell the family why do we do this stuff here every single night on My Cowboys Family, representing that star over everything. Why do we do this, baby?
It's that navy blue.
Ah, yes.
That silver too.
Hell yeah.
And that star over everything.
Over everything, always, guys. Win, lose, or draw. Good, bad, or ugly. Here we rep that star over everything, and never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. Our YouTube channel, 6 years and beyond, and now in our 7th season of doing these a season of football here. Another one of 7 years, baby. 7 seasons. 6 years, 7 seasons here on My Cowboys Family. Never, ever forget the number one thing. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you for dropping the knowledge in the chat all night long, guys. Cannot do this without your thoughts on our fantastic team ready to make that run for 6 and beyond. Thank you guys on that. Thank you all.
Jason, I do think Mosh finally does have it in his possession, right?
That's going to be sent out probably. I'll have to talk with Jason Renfro.
Like we said, Jason,
the thing is
because we can't receive mail right now.
It's not just that. Well. Also, it's also the fact that, unfortunately, that's the main reason that kind of started. But now, Mosh doesn't want to, like, I don't want to say it on the stream, but basically, it's something that's going to have to be sent all 4 of them at once.
Okay.
That's kind of the thing. So I got to wait for all 4 of them. We'll see how this works. I'm going to try to talk to Mosh and see what we can get done. So we'll talk about it. But and Jason, contact me. Easiest way is Twitter, DM me. But of course, you can also go through Instagram. I know he's got me there. So just check in with me there, and we'll discuss it through there. Right, brother? Thank you, Jason. Thank you, everybody in the house. Again, dropping the knowledge in the chat. Truly appreciate your drops of love from above. Like Jason Rumble just took over multiple boards. Is about to take over. I think over this weekend he's going to take over the. He's planning on taking over that gifted membership. We'll see if Skeptical Fan has anything to say about that. But guys, thank you for the love and support on all ends of this thing as we clock out and drop out for the night, relock and reload for tomorrow's one-time only party stream. Join us there, guys. It's going to be good. Before we can drop out for the night, baby, tell everybody what we got to do.
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. That beat's been dropped, guys. It's a wrap here at MCF. Join us tomorrow for the fantastic one-time only viewing party stream, and then Sunday for the wrap-up of the week and the star level winner. Oh, yeah. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Thank you once again, guys. Remember to remind those Eagle fans that you know, family members or friends, or whoever they may be, remind them about the basic mathematical facts no matter where you are on this Earth, planet, or universe. 5 is always greater than 1, baby. It's just basic math. Basic. The Eagle fans are still trying to learn basic mathematics. Cry, Eagles, cry, baby. That's what I say. And here in MCF, you know what else we say on My Cowboys Family? Let's get ready for 2023 and go Cowboys. Oh, yeah, on top of that, another Cowboys chat, Fan Friday style in the books. Thank you all for discussing Dak, Trey Lance, the schemes, all that good stuff, the league, and of course our running back situation, our running back room. You're seeing them all 4 of them right there. I'm ready. You ready? We all ready right here in MCF. Navy blue, silver 2, star over everything. Never forget the number one thing here in My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone. We'll see you back tomorrow for the one-time only party stream, and then Sunday again for the wrap-up of the week and that jersey raffle. Guys, thank you for joining us once again. Can't do this without you all. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for a little party here, kicking off the 2023 season. Stay safe, everyone. Have a great rest of your night and a great weekend. Check back in tomorrow. Much love, peace out, and never, ever forget, go Cowboys!